Shall we start? Okay, student, good evening. I welcome you all to this GS Foundation course of Sanskriti IAS English medium course. And I presume whosoever is watching this particular session, they must be either preparing for UPSC or they may be planning to appear in UPSC exam or maybe state PCS exam in the year 2026 2027. So student, this is my open session, and in this particular open session I'm going to not getting into the details of syllabus and solving previous year's questions and give you a lot of nitty-gritties about the UPSC exam. I'm going to have the overview about how I'm going to plan my course with you, and at the same time this is going to be at least 15-month long journey for us when we are going to prepare for the UPSC prelims exam, mains exam, and the whole gamut of the UPSC syllabus. So I'll be going to give you the overview. And apart from the overview, I'll be going to talk about a lot of important vital inputs which are essential for your exams, which include how you have to proceed ahead in the coming 15 months, what should be various stages of preparation, how you are going to make notes, how you are going to interact with the faculties, and at the same time, how you are going to keep pace with your aspirations and of course the demand of the exam. So on all these things, I'm going to have a very vital discussion with you. And I have meticulously planned this particular session. This session is going to be at least a 1.5 hour and 2 hour session, where I'll be going to have a lot of frequently asked questions where you can easily assume those at least 20-25 questions that I have prepared, which are the frequently asked question. Those 20-25 questions will definitely going to struck a chord with you. But before I start getting into the details of my session, let me give you a very profound slide, first of all. A very profound slide. I still remember during my college days of engineering, I've gone through a very beautiful book written by Sir Alvin Toffler. And his famous book was known as Future Shock. Let me write it over here itself. So it's primarily a type of academic sentence. And he has written a very beautiful book known as Future Shock. And as per his wisdom, he was having a belief that 21st century is going to be the knowledge economy, and in this knowledge economy, India and China are going to roost the world. And he had written this book way back in the decade of 80s and 90s, and is still very much relevant among the masses, especially among those people who are into the universities, who are into the profession of teaching international relations, economics and all. So look at his statement, which I guess aptly describe people like you who are young and at the same time very much excited about the future. So he has given a very beautiful statement for each and every one of us. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or cannot write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn and relearn. A very important statement for each and every one of us. This 21st century, you are right now living in the era of artificial intelligence, chat GPTs, Groks, and the clouds of the world, where things are going at a very rapid pace. Every now and then you are coming across news that Amazon has laid off 30,000 people, 40,000 people, and at the same time getting a job in the private sector is very difficult, and at the same time competition is top notch in the public sector exams as well. And UPSC is indeed one of the most top notch or most sought after exam in our country. But before you start doing your preparation for the UPSC exam, you start making notes, start preparing subjects, you have to keep one thing in your mind. First, you have to learn, you have to unlearn, you have to relearn throughout the process. And it's the hallmark of today's generation that first of all, you have to read the subject, then you have to reread the subject, then you have to unlearn the subject, and then you have to look into the larger aspect of learning a subject itself. And therefore, Alvin Toffler has given a very important statement for each and every one of us that 21st century will not belong to those who are having too much knowledge about the subject, but in fact it belongs to those people who have the tenacity, who have the ability to learn the subject, unlearn the subject and relearn the subject. So keeping this thing in mind, student, I'm starting my session over here. Why I have kept this profound statement in front of you in the first slide of my presentation itself. The reason is, a student, UPSC exam is also going through a sea change, not in terms of the selection process, but in terms of the asking questions. since they are going through a lot of changes, we have to make sure that we are going to keep pace with those particular changes. And for this reason, I'm having a discussion with you where we'll be going to have a larger understanding of the syllabus. We are going to have the larger understanding about your abilities, and at the same time, how am I going to proceed ahead with the thorough preparation of our foundation course itself. So let me look into the larger aspect for today's session. I'm going to have a word on these 4 or 5 things. In today's session, I'm going to talk about, first of all, once you are starting your preparation, you need to have the approach of knowing yourself, which is knowing thyself. How well you know yourself, your skill background, your academic background, your family background. It's a different thing that you have the aspiration, and it's a different thing that you need to have the proper skill set for it. So we'll be going to have a discussion on knowing thyself. After that, we'll get into the details of how we'll be going to have a proper 2-year academic plan where we are going to prepare the subject, where we are going to have a lot of discussion on various aspects of general studies, and at the same time, how you are going to keep yourself motivated throughout the 2-year academic sessions. And third thing, we'll be going to have a discussion onto the syllabus, onto the level of competition, and of course, how you are going to have a proper strategy and execution. We all know there is nothing called as perfect strategy. Whatever strategy that you are inculcating, it's all about proper execution related to it. The more you are good in the execution, finally result will be in your favor. So towards the end, we'll be going to have the discussion on strategy and execution. And last but not the least, my primary focus would be onto various academic resources that you can follow apart from the coaching classes that you have just joined. Apart from the academic resources, I'll be going to have my primary focus on different set of frequently asked questions which any aspirants need to have the clarity during the initial days of his or her preparation itself. So these are all the important things that in today's session I'll be going to have a word with you. Before I proceed ahead, let me give you a brief introduction of mine. I hope you are already comfortable in the past 5-10 minutes. I hope you are comfortable with the technical aspect of doing classes online. And let me give you a brief introduction. So I'm Nishant Shrivastava. I've been teaching various different competitive exam in the test prep industry for the past at least 18 years. I started my career in the year 2007. From 2007 to 2012, specifically to be around 2012 February. I was taking competitive exam classes for common admission test. So those students who are preparing for CAT or those students who are preparing for the common law admission test CLAT, I used to teach them. I used to teach in an institute called as IMS Learning Resources. And in the year 2010, I was started my teaching in the area of UPSC itself. My always neck area are the current issues, current affairs, Indian polity sections. But immediately after the year 2013, when UPSC decided to go through a sea changes in the syllabus, I started taking 2 areas, Indian society, social issues, and at the same time, I started taking the current affairs. So from 2010 to 2025 right now, it's almost like 15 years. I've been into this profession of teaching UPSC aspirants, especially into the area of GS paper 2 and GS paper 3, where my core command area are into the areas of Indian polity, constitutional issues, current affairs, Indian society and social issues. Similarly, I'm going to have these areas with your academic sessions as well. So this is my brief introduction, student. So from 2010 to 2025, I have been teaching UPSC aspirants. So it's cumulatively, it's somewhere around 15 years of experience. From 2012 to 2024 November, I was there in an institute called as Sanskriti IAS. Been taking their classes in both Mukherjee Nagar and in Karol Bagh Center in both the medium. And in the year 2024 itself, I've decided to join the Sanskriti IAS. So right now, I'm going to have the responsibility to have the academic sessions with you in the area of Indian polity, constitutional issues, Indian society, and other aspect of your UPSC preparation. But before I get into the academics, first of all, it's very essential that we are going to know each other. Of course, you people are there doing the sessions online with me. But at the same time, I have prepared at least 15-20 set of questions. And I'm 100% sure once you are going to comfortable with those 15-20 questions, you will realize that somewhere down the line, you are comfortable with at least 2 or 3 questions which are truly going to define yourself. So before I'll be going to discuss the academic pedagogy of ours, how we are going to proceed ahead with the syllabus. Before I give you some academic resources and suggestions, and before I'll be going to have the discussion on certain important frequently asked question. First of all, let's have a superficial discussion on at least 2 or 3 important aspects of your preparation. And number one is knowing thyself, a very important parameter of your preparation. So, what do we mean by know thyself? Look, please understand. You all have aspirations. We all have aspirations, in fact. We all human beings have aspirations, aspirations of achieving certain social status, and at the same time certain financial status, certain health status, and certain mental status. So you all have the aspirations, but aspirations need to be aligned with the pragmatic reality. I'll again repeat, aspirations need to be aligned with the pragmatic reality. And for understanding the pragmatic realities, first of all, you have to know thyself. Know thyself means what exactly is your education background? Now, please understand, education background does not mean that either you are a BA, BSc, BTech, MBBS, or MA, or MPhil, whatever degree that you are having it. I'm not talking about that particular education background. Education background means, do you have the knack of sitting 4 hours in front of a study table? क्या 4 घंटे स्टडी टेबल के सामने बैठने की आदत है? Do you have the knack of studying 4 hours at a stretch in front of the study table? 4 hour, 3 hour stretch in front of the study table. Number one. Number two, are you comfortable with making notes, or are you comfortable with appearing in exam by going through some guide or by going through some kunji like we used to have in our university exam? So first of all, you need to realize what type of education background you have. Look, education background does not mean that you need to be a topper in the university, then only you are going to appear in the UPSC exam. I'm not putting you in that particular direction. I'm just asking, you have to realize you must be at least 21-year-old right now. 21-year-old means you must have gone through your 10 plus 2 plus 3 years of your college education at least, which means primarily you have gone through at least 1.5 decade of education. And 1.5 decade of education means you must be having a certain education background. For example, do you have the reading abilities? Do you have the reading abilities? Reading abilities means, are you comfortable with reading newspaper for at least 1.5 hour? And that too on those areas where you have no knowledge about it. Are you comfortable with having specific reading abilities? Are you comfortable with making notes, which means your writing abilities? And last but not the least, how good are you when it comes to revision? How good are you when it comes to revision? How good are you when it comes to note making? So first of all, you have to realize what exactly is your education background, irrespective whether you are from a Delhi University or from IIT Delhi or from the top-notch Ivy League institution of our country or from a little lesser known tier 2, tier 3 universities. Look, even in the tier 2, tier 3 universities, you have people who are average in their academics, but they have a good reading abilities. They've been reading a lot of books apart from their academic specification books. They do have a good writing abilities. They do have a good note making and of course revision capacity. If you hold these things, if you are comfortable with reading at least 30 pages, 40 pages, 50 pages in a stretch, and if you are comfortable in making notes, and if you are comfortable in recalling and revising those notes, it means your approach to appear in this mammoth exam is absolutely correct. So first of all, you have to have your education background pretty clear in your mind. If the answer is yes, that's good. If the answer is no, then it is not a point of worry. But at the same time, if the answer is no, then there are certain things in the coming at least 2.5 years you have to inculcate in your preparation, so that by the time you are going to appear in the state PCS or the UPSC exam, prelims exam, mains exam, you are going to be quite comfortable in it. So first of all, I would always recommend students to know thyself, which is you need to have a very clear-cut knowledge about your education background. For example, if I'm going to put you in my place, my education background, I always have this particular ability of reading a lot. So I'm quite comfortable with reading a lot. I'm quite comfortable with reading a lot of general knowledge things. And therefore, If you are quite comfortable in reading a lot of general knowledge things, you don't get bored out of it. It means you have a knack of appearing in the exam, which is UPSC. So first of all, have a clarity related to your education background. I'm not bogging you down with these type of things. I'm just giving you the reality check. And the reality check is anybody who wants to appear in this exam, he must be having the clarity that he has to have a good reading abilities, writing abilities, note making abilities, and at the same time, revision capacities. Unlike your university exam, there is a truly different ball game altogether. So first of all, know thyself. करना क्या है? एक पेपर में लिखना कभी. Whenever you get time, I guess immediately after this session, you can do one very small exercise. You can do one very small exercise. I'll recommend you. Take a A4 size paper and write at least 5 books that you have read so far in your life. Maybe you are 22, maybe you are 23, or maybe you are 25. At least write 4 or 5 books that you have read in your life apart from your academic books. Let's say you are BSc Honors Physics. So apart from physics books, have you read any book on general knowledge? Have you read any book on fiction, non-fiction? Have you read any book on Indian economy? Have you read any book on Indian political system? And if the answer is no, it means that you are not having the approach of reading the fiction and non-fiction. It doesn't mean that you are not going to crack the exam, because cracking the exam is truly different. बट इफ यू आर हैविंग द आंसर कि देखो भाई मैंने अब तक 5 बुक्स भी नहीं पढ़ी हैं, इसका मतलब अब मुझे पढ़ना होगा. और अगर पढ़ी है, इफ यू हैव गॉन थ्रू एटलीस्ट 15-20 बुक्स सो फार इन योर लाइफ, विच मीन्स यू हैव द रीडिंग एबिलिटीज, यू हैव द नेक ऑफ रीडिंग different genre of books, which is definitely going to help you. It will help you in 2 ways. If the answer is yes, you will realize I am in the right direction. If the answer is no, you will realize now I have to develop this skills of reading a lot of good books, because UPSC exam is all about 3 different things. Need to have a good reading abilities, and at the same time writing abilities, and at the same time revision and note making abilities. So first of all, know thyself. What exactly is your education background? Apart from that, one very important aspect of your preparation is what exactly is your skills background? What exactly is your skills background? When I say the term skills background, which means apart from your college degree, is there any other specific skills that you are quite comfortable with? It may be some music skills, maybe some computer coding skills, it may be some advanced machinery skills, because all these type of skills must going to help you in your interview, and at the same time it is going to have a huge amount of impact on the type of personality you are. So these type of skills really matter, because please understand one very important aspect. Although right now we are having a commercial relationship with you, after all you are going to pay fees to me, I'm going to have a session with you, but at the same time I'm going to be a lifelong mentor for you. And I would always appreciate one very important aspect of UPSC preparation. Prepare for the exam for at least 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, till the time allow, till the families allow, till the condition allow. But at the same time, you need to think about beyond UPSC as well, because at certain period of time, if selections are not going to be there in front of you, then you have to think about the alternate career option. And before you start doing the preparation, you need to have a pinpoint approach that these are my skills, these are my wannabe areas, these are the things which I am going to do apart from my UPSC preparation. If UPSC comes, well and good. If it is not going to come at me, then I am going to put my entire focus onto these areas. Skills background means, are you good with the quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning? Are you good with the computer coding skills? Are you good with, let's say, remembering a lot of facts, information? All these are skills. A skill does not mean that you need to be Arijit Singh or you need to be Sachin Tendulkar. A skills background specifically means, apart from your academics, what all other things that you are good at. Because extracurricular activities are definitely going to have a huge impact on your type of personality, and cumulatively the type of personality is going to help you in your overall preparation. Because keeping at least 18-20 months of complete academic preparation in your mind without knowing these things are going to become a very daunting or uphill task for you. So I would recommend whosoever is watching this particular session, whether it's YouTube live or those people who have already enrolled with our academic session over here, I would recommend write on one blank paper, these are my education qualification, these are my education background, these are the type of skills I have, these are the type of reading abilities I have, these are the type of writing abilities I have. Even if it is coming out to be in absolute zero status, or if it is going to be into a poor status, no need to worry about it, because in the coming at least 2.5 years you'll be going to change yourself. So first of all, before we get into the academic stuff, before we get into the preparation of UPSC, before we get into the conceptual aspect of preparing for UPSC exam, maybe NCERT, maybe some advanced book, at least first of all realize that कि आप किस टाइप की पर्सनालिटी हो. ये मेरे लिए भी जरूरी है, ये आपके लिए भी जरूरी है, so that we are going to move in tandem with each other. So knowing thyself means what's your education background, what's your skills background, and last but not the least, what exactly is your family background. Yes, it does matter a lot. It definitely matter a lot, student. Family background does not mean that how much money your family can afford it on you as far as preparing for the UPSC exam is concerned. There are so many rich people, so many rich families who always insist, and they have children in their home who are academically very, very bright, but they do not want their children to appear in the UPSC or IAS or IPS exam. They really want them to take care of their businesses itself. So first of all, you need to have a clarity about your family background, because family background does play a very important role in your overall preparation. It's not about money, it's all about psychology. Because if your family is keep on insisting it to you कि 2 साल में कुछ परफॉर्म करके दिखाओ भाई, पहले अटेम्प्ट में क्लियर करके दिखाओ, और इस टाइप का प्रेशर बना रहे हैं, so it is definitely going to have a toll on you. So keep a clarity of family background as well. What type of financial status you are having it in your family, what type of the educational status is there in your family, are they going to support you in the course of this journey for preparing for a very important exam of your life, which is going to change the course of your family as well. So these 3 things everybody need to have the clarity once you are starting your preparation, because preparing for UPSC is not a 8-month affair or a 9-month affair. It's actually to be very honest, it's actually a 4-year affair. At least 1.5 year of preparing for the exam, and then appearing in the exam, and then going through the process of prelims, mains, and interview, which is definitely going to be at least 1.5 year. So I would rather say, student, please have a primary focus on knowing thyself. Education background, family background, skill background. Even if things are not in your favor, you can change these things in the upcoming 2 years by going through the process, or by going through the learning process of preparing for this exam. So this is my first suggestion to each and every one of you. Do this exercise whenever you get time, which is write it onto the blank paper. Who am I? Knowing thyself. ये मेरा एजुकेशन बैकग्राउंड है, ये मेरी स्किल्स है, ये मेरा फैमिली बैकग्राउंड है. अब मुझे इन सबको चेंज करना है और मुझे एक एग्जाम क्रैक करना है. मैंने अब तक ये रीडिंग एबिलिटीज डेवलप की हैं. दीज आर द रीडिंग एबिलिटीज दैट आई हैव डेवलप्ड. दीज आर द थिंग्स दैट आई हैवंट डेवलप्ड as far as the preparing for the exam is concerned, because preparing for the UPSC exam require 3 things: patience, reading a lot, writing a lot, recalling a lot. Patience is basically the most important virtue of preparing for this exam. So if your personality order is slightly against it, better keep it in your mind, better keep it in your subconscious mind, and then start preparing for it. So this is the first aspect of my this session. Although normally teachers don't talk about these type of things, because they immediately get down into the teaching stuff, they immediately get down into these things. इतना कट ऑफ गया, इतने एग्जाम में ये इतने स्टूडेंट बैठे, ये क्वेश्चन आया, यहाँ से आया, ये आया, मैंने ऐसा पढ़ा दिया. All these things will matter later on. First of all, what really matter is whether a student is good enough, or whether its approach is good enough or not. So first of all, develop the approach. If the answer is I'm not good enough, you can develop the abilities to be good enough later on in your life. After all, in my initial part, I have already told you a very important terminology. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. तो अब तक बुक्स नहीं पढ़ी, अब कर लो. अब तक खूब बुक्स पढ़ी हैं, उसको कंटिन्यू करो, नई टाइप की बुक्स पढ़ो. अब तक एजुकेशन बैकग्राउंड बहुत अच्छा नहीं रहा है, अब ठीक कर लो. All these things are going to play a very vital role in your life. So keep this a statement in your mind, and by keeping this a statement in your mind, you can do the introspection of your personalities, which is knowing thyself. Moving on. Now let's talk about the competition. Let's talk about the UPSC as the exam. Let's talk about the competition, and let's talk about the numbers which really matter a lot in your overall preparation. So the mains cutoff, of course, we all know in the mains you have the 1000 marks for the general studies. Then you have the essay writing comprising 250 marks. And of course, you have the optional comprising 500 marks, comprising 250 marks. So out of 1750, these are the some golden numbers. So as you can see, from 2019 to 2024, cutoff is hovering around 750. 751, 736, 745, 48, 41, 29. So let me presume a very rough estimate that you should be aiming for at least 760, 770 marks in your mains exam, so that eventually you'll be good enough to get into the interview room. Of course, a lot of ifs and buts are going to be there for your final selection, but at the same time, you need to come across somewhere around 750 marks. Apart from that, look at the prelims exam cutoff. Very high in the year 2018, 98. 98 means 49 correct question. So out of 200, you have 98, 98, 92.5, 87.54, 88.22, and then 75.41. As you can see, cutoff was into a slightly higher trajectory of around 100 marks in the year 2018 to 2020, and then it is going slightly southward, slightly, not exactly, but slightly southward, which means thoda sa gir raha hai cutoff. 2023 was the real exception. It was a monster exam. It was a very difficult one because options were very difficult in the year 2023. And 2024, 2022 were on the same lines altogether. So if you look into these numbers, you realize that somehow you should get at least 50 question correct onto a safer side. I know it's easier said than done, but let's say 48 question, 49 question should be correct cumulatively, which means if you are going to attempt at least 80 questions, let's say if you are going to attempt 80 question, it should be somewhere around 63, 64 should be ideally be correct, and rest all, even if it is going to be negative, your score may be going to be slightly above the cutoff itself. And I'm talking about the general category as of now. So keeping this thing in mind, look into the aspect of the competition from the numbers itself. Getting 750 numbers in your mains exam, getting at least 90 numbers in your prelims exam. Although these are the last 6 or 7 year standard, it is not going to be the same in the upcoming year, because who knows, the direction is going to be get completely changed, or maybe the format of the question paper is going to get changed over a period of time. So we are not sure about the trend, because the only trend UPSC follow is they are going to change the trend in the prelims exam. Mains more or less remains the same, although the degree of questions or the difficulty of the question keep on changing. But prelims exam is quite a surprising one, and to be very honest, it's turning out to be the most difficult exercise to pass through. So keeping in mind some rough estimate, 45, 48, 49, 50 questions should be there in your prelims exam, and of course 750 marks in your mains exam, which essentially means in your general studies paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4, you should target at least 80, 90 marks, isn't it? All sounds very easy, but it is not at all easy. It's a very difficult and a daunting task. We are going to make sure that things are going to be slightly clearer to you how you are going to proceed ahead. Now, first of all, when I say understand the competition, please understand one very specific area over here, student. Appearing in UPSC exam is always considered to be one of the most appreciable, or one of the most wannabe, or one of the most sought after career option immediately after graduation, because the minimum eligibility for appearing in UPSC exam is you need to be a graduate. So as the result, every year 9 lakh, 10 lakh, 11 lakh people are appearing in the exam. And I presume immediately after the announcement of the 8th Pay Commission, which is definitely going to be there in at least 1 or 2 years. So the type of numbers that we are witnessing it right now, after the announcement of the 8th Pay Commission, and whenever 8th Pay Commission is going to get finalized, the lucrativeness of government job is always going to get increased in the initial phases of your career. There is a problem with government salary, student. in the lower level, of the administrative hierarchy of our country, the government officers or the government babus or the fourth class category servants in the government job, they are getting a very higher salary, because starting salary of a peon is starting salary of a peon who's onto the permanent enrollment of the government itself. They are getting 45,000, 50,000, 55,000, and at the same time in the class 3 category as well. But there is a problem with the government salaries on a higher level. On a higher level, like a secretary, chief secretary, they are getting a meager payment compared to what their counterparts are getting into the same footing in the corporate sector. तो government salary का problem क्या है? जो lower level पे salary है वो ज़्यादा है, जो higher level पे salary वो बहुत ही कम है. Or initially when you are 20-25 year old, you are not thinking about becoming a chief secretary, you are rather thinking about the security of the job. So therefore, student, in the initial level, people are always going to get excited towards the government job itself. And once 8th pay commission is going to get finalized, the luringness or the charmness of government job is going to get increased. And it is going to have the impact onto the number of people who are appearing in the UPSC exam as well. Although UPSC exam is for the All India services and of course for the class 1 officers, but at the same time, student, number of people who are going to try their luck in the peon exam, in some local exam and in the UPSC exam are more or less going to be the same. In fact, it is going to get increased over a period of time. So if 10 lakh people are appearing in the exam, take my word, student, at least 9 lakh people are nonsense here. They are just experimenting themselves. They are just getting into the depth of the water. They do not have the ability to swim. They just want to at least going to have the feeling itself. So please don't get worried about the competition. Competition is only limited to at least 80,000, 1 lakh sincere student. Out of those 80 lakh and 1 lakh sincere student who keep on their consistent preparation for at least 1.5 year, at least 50% of them are going to have a burnout. 50% of them are going to take a back out. 50% of them are going to decide about the alternate career option. So to be very honest, student, I would recommend you, do not worry about the competition level. Only worry about how much you have prepared for the exam, how good is your overall preparation. So I would presume competition is limited to at least 80-90,000 aspirants who are burning their midnight oil, who are really focused onto this competitive exam, who are keeping the pace of preparing for this exam as per the need of the exam itself. तो ऐसे करीबन आपको 1 लाख लोग मिलेंगे और उन 1 लाख लोगों में आपको अपनी जगह बनानी है, अपीयर करना है, एंड देन यू हैव टू प्रूव योरसेल्फ. सो कीप दिस थिंग इन योर माइंड. Understand the competition, understand the cutoff. Cutoffs primarily means every GS paper you have to have the target of scoring 80 marks, 85 marks, 90 marks effectively out of 250 marks. And at the same time, you have to make sure that in your prelims exam, you should get 45 questions correct, at least 43, 44 questions correct in your exam to make sure that you are going to, cumulatively of course, that you are going to sail through in the prelims and going to appear in the mains exam itself. And लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, इतने सारे लोग अपीयर करते हैं, इतने सारे चैनल्स हो गए, सो मेनी यूट्यूब चैनल, सो मेनी पीपल हु आर टीचिंग दिस एग्जाम, एंड द आयरनी इज आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट यूट्यूब चैनल एंड द क्लास इज गोइंग लाइव इन द यूट्यूब इटसेल्फ. सो do not get worried about the competition as such. It's been limited to 80,000 and 1 lakh people. And in those 1 lakh people, they are the real preparation, they are the real aspirants, those who are working day in, day out, burning the midnight oil, doing a lot of preparation. So, उनके बीच में जगह बनाने के लिए एक बहुत अच्छा एकेडमिक प्लान होना चाहिए, जिस पर मैं आपके साथ डिस्कशन करना चाहता हूं. So, first of all, my first suggestion to each and every one of you, know thyself and know the competition. And knowing the competition is always going to play a very crucial factor. So, keeping this thing in mind, let's proceed ahead. So, I hope without even looking into the syllabus itself, these all are the macro understanding of the syllabus, where your preparation is going to get divided into GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4, where GS paper 1 comprises history, geography, society. Paper 2 comprises polity, governance, social justice and international relations. Paper 3 is all about technology, internal security, economy, disaster management, environment, ecology. And paper 4 is quite a unique one, which UPSC has added it on 5th of March 2013, which is ethics paper. On 5th of March 2013, UPSC decided to go through a complete overhaul of the UPSC syllabus itself. Before 2013, we used to have 2 optional. Now after 2013, it has been reduced to 1 optional and 4 paper of the general studies. And they've introduced a very important topic, ethics, integrity and aptitude. तो ये ओवरऑल मैक्रो सिलेबस है. अब इस मैक्रो सिलेबस का प्रिपरेशन का स्ट्रैटेजी क्या होना चाहिए? व्हाट आइडियली शुड बी दिस प्रिपरेशन स्ट्रैटेजी फॉर जनरल स्टडीज? Either I should go for paper wise, finishing paper 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, or I should have a mixed bag approach. This is something we'll be going to have a discussion. So here is my suggestion, student. My first and foremost suggestion to each and every one of you: do not prepare in an isolated manner. Do not prepare in the manner of silos. You have to have the integrated approach, and for the integrated approach, you should divide your preparation into 3 stages. I'll repeat. I'm having a belief that you people who are watching this particular video, they may be preparing for the state PCX exam or UPSC exam for the year 2027, or maybe for the year 2026, because anybody who's preparing for UPSC 2026, it is already too late. We are already into the month of November. I'm sure they must be having a lot of idea right now, although maybe going to, maybe they have gone through the process itself for the past at least 7-8 months itself. So right now, whatever discussion that I'm having it right now with you, I'm keeping one thing in my mind. Students who are preparing for the exam for the year 2027 are actually watching this particular video. And even if you are going to appear in the state PC exam, it has to be into the later part of the year 2026, which is at least 1 year away from here. So first of all, please divide your preparation into 3 stages. And the first stage is the most crucial stage of your preparation. First of all, student, in our previous slides, you have gone through 4 areas. And of course, this is the macro understanding of the syllabus. When you are going to look into the micro details of the syllabus, which has already been mentioned in your UPSC brochure, it has already been mentioned in the UPSC notification. But once you are going to do the micro understanding of the syllabus, the whole topic is going to be divided into plethora of topics. खूब सारे छोटे छोटे सब topics बन जाएंगे. So it seems to be a very daunting task. It seems to be a very difficult task. So how you are going to proceed ahead? There is a very good Chinese proverb. And the Chinese proverb says, how you are going to eat an elephant? You are going to divide it into 2 small pieces. So these are the macro subjects. These macro subjects need to be divided into micro subjects. And micro subjects are going to get realigned to prepare the overall macro understanding of the syllabus itself. But करना कैसे है? क्या हमको पेपर वाइज बढ़ना चाहिए कि सर first we'll go through history, then we'll go through geography, then we'll go through economy, polity and so on and so forth. And we are going to first of all complete paper 1, then paper 2, then paper 3, then paper 4. No, that should not be the strategy. The strategy should be in this manner. You should divide your preparation into 3 stages. And the first stage is the most important building blocks of your preparation. I have already written a very important statement. Is preparing for general studies a daunting task? Indeed, it's a daunting task. It's a very difficult task. I've been here into this profession for the past 15 years, and I still get goosebumps by reading some new topics, by reading some new areas. And sometimes I do get apprehended by the type of dimension which is required to prepare a particular topic. So it is always a very daunting task to prepare for the general studies, and at the same time for people like me who are into this teaching profession to teach those areas of general studies. तो इसमें तो कोई शक नहीं है. Is preparing for GS a daunting task? Answer is yes, very well indeed. But if it is a daunting task, there has to be a solution for it, and the solution is there in front of you. Divide your preparation into 3 stages. First stage is the most important stage, and take my word. And I'm saying this with full authority and full conviction. Most of the people who start their UPSC journey, they cannot even complete the first stage. By the time 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, they realize UPSC is not my cup of tea. It's very difficult to prepare whole gamut of these first stages. Therefore, bhaiya, humse nahi ho payega. I would rather think for any other competitive exam which is going to be limited. But please understand, do not get inhibited by the syllabus. Syllabus is very well defined. If you are going to have a meticulous planning, then things are going to be well within your reach. So my first suggestion is you have to have the first stage of preparation. If you are quite comfortable with the first stage of preparation, which is preparing the core topic, and the core topics are complete history, complete polity, complete economy, complete geography. Although it's not like it will take a lifetime to prepare these subjects. First of all, you should not assume yourself to be in the position of being an expert of this topic. You need to have a clear-cut understanding of this topic as per the requirement of the exam. And once you are comfortable, I would rather say slightly above average in these areas, history, polity, economy, geography, then you are all prepared to appear in the exam. Divide your preparation into 3 stages. Second and third stage, I will eventually talk later on. But please understand, most of the aspirants who start their journey for preparing for the UPSC exam, by the time they read the content related to history, polity, economy and geography, after 6 or 7 months, they realize it's not going anywhere. और वहीं पे कंपटीशन खत्म होने लगता है. वो सिंसियर कंपटीशन जो है ना, वो उन लोगों के लिए जो इस पूरे टास्क को एंजॉय करते हैं. आई हैव रिटन इट ओवर हियर. लेट मी जस्ट सी इट. In the first stage of preparation, you have to prepare the building blocks: complete history, complete polity, complete economy, complete geography. Resources and suggestions, I'll be going to give it to you later on. But once you are comfortable these 4 areas by doing, clearing all the fundamentals of these subjects from NCERT's standard textbook, if you are joining the coaching institute, if you are relying yourself on coaching institute is never going to be the final solution of your preparation. It is only going to act as the catalyst. I hope you know the difference between the catalyst and the person who's considered to be the solution for each and everything. So coaching faculties are not the solution. Coaching faculties are only going to act as the catalyst. They will pave the way. They will give you the direction. They will give you more understanding of the syllabus. They will give you more rich academic vocabulary, which is eventually going to pave the way for you to have a proper road of success itself. So, if you are comfortable with the building blocks of preparing history, polity, economy, geography, clearing fundamentals, attempting all NCERT fundamentals, going through some standard textbook, coaching faculty notes, and of course, last but not the least, comfortably solving and doing a lot of introspection and analysis by solving the PYQs. PYQs holds the key for your ultimate success. I'm going to have a discussion related to it later on. So first is this important aspect. And the second is, after being comfortable in these 4 areas, comfortable means where you are comfortable with the syllabus, you are comfortable with the nitty-gritties of the topic, you are comfortable with the important topic. For example, let's talk about geography. So if you are comfortable with oceanography, you are comfortable with climatology, you are comfortable with geomorphology. These are the 3 important aspects of geography. If you are comfortable with climatology, oceanography, geomorphology, Indian geography, then you are into the position of solving at least last 10-15 year previous year's questions, and you are also having the approach of having the advanced stage. So first of all, once you are comfortable with these areas, then consolidate these areas. First try to get above average and then try to make the iron fist approach where you'll be going to have a huge command onto this subject by having a deep dive approach. Deep dive का मतलब है एक समय के बाद जब एवरेज बन जाता है प्रिपरेशन, एवरेज लेवल आ जाता है, तो उसके बाद एक एडवांस लेवल पे कूदने की कोशिश करनी होगी. Once you are comfortable with the average aspect of the preparation, you need to take the advanced stage very seriously. An advanced stage means doing more internet research, reading good articles, and at the same time reading some advanced books, which may not be going to be essential for your exam, but at the same time, being a serious competitor, it does required. So my first suggestion to each and every one of you, if you are preparing for UPSC exam, planning to appear in the UPSC exam, then forget each and everything, forget about the syllabus, forget about the previous year's question. Just get yourself comfortable with these three areas: history, polity, economy, geography. They are the building blocks. They are the building block. They are the basic DNA of preparing for the exam. These four subjects are the core subjects. Prepare it wisely. How you are going to prepare it wisely, what all are going to be the strategic input related to these things, I'll be going to have a discussion related to it later on. But first of all, ये आपके लिए सबसे important है. Once you are comfortable with the first stage of preparation, then naturally you will incline toward the second stage of preparation. And the second stage of preparation is preparing the science and technology area, preparing the international relations. Nowadays, every single person, I guess every single person is considered himself to be the expert in the international relations. Look at the kind of filth and the kind of crap that we are watching these days in the internet. Everybody is claiming himself to be the geopolitical expert, and the kind of videos they make are absolutely shoddy. But at the same time, in this era where people are more hooked to watching news, more hooked to watching some fancy news, people are creating non-academic stuff, and unfortunately they are selling it like a academic stuff. So please refrain yourself from watching those videos. Instead of that, read good books, good articles. Over a period of time, you are definitely going to get more comfortable in the learning aspect of international relations and at the same time science and technology. Look, science and technology and international relations are very important aspect of preparing for the UPSC exam. But first of all, you should respect understanding history, polity, economy, geography. Then you should move ahead with the science and technology and international relations. And one more important point. It's not like, first of all, you have to dedicate yourself 1 year for history, polity, economy, geography. Then only you will move towards the second stage of preparation. Second stage चालू हो जाएगा, बीच से ही चालू हो जाएगा, 1 महीने बाद, 2 महीने बाद चालू हो जाएगा. But at the same time, your primary focus should always be having the idea or having the target of completing the first stage very wisely and very confidently. Once you are comfortable with the first stage, then comes the second stage. And now look at these topic, which is Indian society and social justice, which is essentially very important for GS paper 1 and GS paper 2. The number of questions of Indian societies are always going to be at least 6 or 7 questions in our mains exam out of 20 in the GS paper 1. Social justice also comprises 3 or 4 more important questions out of 20. तो आप ये मत सोचो कि 10 क्वेश्चन तो अकेले इसमें से आ रहे हैं, 250 नंबर के क्वेश्चन तो केवल इसमें से आ रहे हैं, तो हम पहले इसको प्रिपेयर कर लेते. नो, these areas are known as offshoot subjects. These areas should always be prepared once you are comfortable with the building blocks. Once you are comfortable with the HPEG, which is history, polity, economy, geography, I won't use the word cakewalk that these subjects are going to be easy for you or these subjects are going to be at the tip of your hand, you are going to be comfortable with these subjects. But enjoying these subjects will only be possible once you are comfortable with the building blocks. So get comfortable with the building blocks, then only you will realize the importance of social justice in our society, because the kind of theoretical impact that are going to be there in the social justice. For example, if you are reading any question or if you are reading any article related to women empowerment in our country, and if you are quite comfortable with the nuances of Article 15.3, or if you are quite comfortable with the readings of Vishakha guidelines of Supreme Court in the year 1997, which is something you'll be going to learn in your Indian polity classes. So if you're comfortable with the Article 15.3, if you're comfortable with Vishakha guidelines, then reading an article or reading a topic related to women empowerment, how women are suffering from the patriarchal stuff in our country, are going to be slightly easier for you. So I would always recommend prepare these offshoot subjects in the second stage of your preparation, whether it is governance, which is basically an offshoot or a byproduct of larger understanding of the Indian polity and how the fundamental law of this country constitution works. तो ये सारे टॉपिक बाद में करना. Disaster management, environment, ecology. For example, disaster management right now, Delhi is going through a very chaotic time right now. I am taking this class in a studio right now from Delhi, and just outside this class, AQI, AQI is 400. So you can easily assume if AQI is 400, then what all are the primary reasons for it? The primary reason is related to the fact that in this phase where winter is just about to begin, there is a complete change in the dynamics of air. And since there is a complete change in the dynamics of air, smog is going to be get completely encapsulated over the areas of northwest India, and therefore we have a problem of AQI. So AQI has a problem related to stubble burning, AQI has a problem related to wind pattern change, AQI has a problem related to some issues related to the geographical aspect of our country. All these things can be going to get more clear once you are comfortable with the definitions which you are going to go through the geography part itself. तो ये सारे ना सेकेंड स्टेज के प्रिपरेशन वाले एरिया है. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल माय सजेशन, माय हम्बल सजेशन टू ईच एंड एवरी वन ऑफ यू, prepare the first stage very wisely, comfortably and confidently, and you need to have the iron fist approach over here, where you'll be going to have complete command onto those areas. Once you are comfortable in those areas, then you can prepare for the offshoot subjects. So first of all, your preparation should be divided into 3 stages. First stage, history, polity, economy, geography, primary focus, जहां आधे लोग वैसे ही निकल जाते हैं. उसके बाद निकलकर your primary focus should be onto the offshoot subjects: society, governance, disaster management, environment, ecology, and internal security. Look at topic like internal security. Once you go through how India works, how Indian polity works, how Indian political system works, what all are the socio-economic and larger geographical problems in our country, then this subject will become more interesting to you. Please do not read the subject just because it's a part of syllabus. You need to enjoy the subject. You need to get down into the skin of the subject, and that can only be possible once you are comfortable with the building blocks. And later on, student, this last point is very essential, especially from the prelims point of view. Why prelims is turning out to be a very difficult task for aspirant these days is because some advanced topic that they are adding, which are not directly being mentioned in our syllabus itself. For example, advanced development in the field of technology, agriculture, criminal justice system, law, some international organizations, certain protocols, certain conventions, wildlife behavior, government schemes, policies. These things are not being explicitly mentioned in our syllabus. They are not being explicitly mentioned, but indeed they are very, very essential from prelims point of view, and up to certain extent, once you are going to look into the mains area as well. In tomorrow's session, I'll be going to give you understanding about how the questions related to Indian polity and constitution have been framed. You will realize the bookish knowledge is not going to be the ultimate solution. You need to have a good approach by reading the current issues, and at the same time, you need to have a huge amount of applied and analytical approach as well. तो प्रीलिम्स में आजकल ना इस टाइप के खूब क्वेश्चंस पूछे जा रहे हैं. दे आर आस्किंग क्वेश्चन रिलेटेड टू एग्रीकल्चर, क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम, सर्टेन टेक्नोलॉजी, वाइल्ड लाइफ बिहेवियर, एंड दीज आर नॉट बीन explicitly mentioned in our syllabus, although it is always considered to be the implicit preparation or implicit part of our preparation. So these things can only be prepared by you once you are comfortable with the current affairs, once you are comfortable with the last 18-month development happenings, then only you'll be going to master these things. But in order to master these things, the first and foremost thing is first stage of preparation. So first of all, in this session, my suggestion to you is, you are starting your journey for the UPSC preparation. You are taking the baby step for your UPSC preparation. First of all, keep one thing in your mind. First of all, your first stage should be there. Once you are having the confidence that I'm quite comfortable with the first stage of preparation, which you will realize after having 2, 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months of your preparation, then you can move towards the second stage of preparation. ऐसा नहीं करना है that first of all, it should not be in silos, that first I'll go through first stage, then second, then third. It should be first stage initially. Once the confidence is going to be there after reading 2 or 3 subjects, especially initial few chapters of the first 2 or 3 subjects, then you can take some initial steps towards reading the second stage, which is all about certain technology section, general science section, international relations sections, and of course these areas. So this is the second stage of preparation. Now comes the third stage of preparation. The third stage of preparation is preparing certain abstract topics, which is all about definitions, those definitions which you have not gone through essentially in your university education system, or at the same time which actually check your ability of how you are going to present yourself. So questions related to ethics, integrity and aptitude, where a lot of focus are there on the definition part. And this particular area, ethics, integrity and aptitude, is basically a combination of 4 or 5 subjects: philosophy, political theories, human psychology, human behavior, certain cognitive biasness, human psychology, philosophy, political theories, certain sociological theories. I will give you recommendation. No need to worry about that. But these are the abstract topic. Abstract topic means syllabus has been already been mentioned, but you can always assume the questions are not going to be very upfront in front of you. There'll be going to be certain tipsy-turvy turns in the question itself. And in order to handle those things, first of all, you need to be very comfortable with the definition. For example, for the sake of understanding itself, for example, if I'm going to say, what is the basic difference between ethics and morality? If I'm going to put up a question in front of you, what is the primary difference between ethics and morality? Now, ethics and morality, for a layman like me and you, it seems more or less like same one. But when you're going to get into the technical aspect of understanding both ethics and morality with some good approachable example, then only you will be going to make a real difference. So these type of things are commonly known as abstract topics. In your essay writing comprises 2 parts. In fact, earlier it used to be one current based topic and used to be one abstract topic, but these days it is more about both the abstract topics are there in the essay writing. In your UPPSC exam, you'll be going to have 3 type of essays. One is related to policies, one is related to current issues, one is related to slightly abstract one. But in your UPSC exam, you'll be going to attempt 2 essays, and both these essays are going to be slightly abstract by looking into the last at least 7-8 year pattern. तो एब्स्ट्रैक्ट चीजें लिखने के लिए पढ़ाई भी एब्स्ट्रैक्ट टॉपिक की करनी पड़ेगी, पढ़ाई करने के लिए ये वाली चीजें पढ़नी पड़ेंगी. एंड दिस विल टेक टाइम. And this should not be your last priority, but this is something you should cover in the second stage, third stage of your preparation, in the advanced stage of your preparation. Of course, the example that we are going to read in the history, polity, economy, geography, for example, let's say your faculty have gone through a very important topic, let's say constitutional morality. Let's say Article 21 and constitutional morality. And he has given you a brief lecture related to the constitutional morality. So once you have gone through those lecture related to constitutional morality, so you must be having a fair amount of idea how the word morality is being inculcated in the field of law, or being inculcated in the field of criminal justice system, or being inculcated in the constitutional jurisprudence. तो वहां पर मोरालिटी कैसे यूज करी है उसका थोड़ा बहुत रफ आइडिया होगा, थोड़ा बहुत मोरालिटी की अंडरस्टैंडिंग होगी, और उसका जो कॉम्बिनेशन बनेगा इट विल डेफिनेटली मेक यू इनरिच टुवर्ड्स राइटिंग अ गुड आंसर. सो योर प्रिपरेशन शुड बी divided into 3 parts, student. First stage, the most crucial one. Second stage, I need not to explain it to you. Once you are going to enjoy the process of going through the first stage, then only you will shift towards the second stage and subsequently towards the third stage. So divide your preparation into 3 stages. Forget about competition. Competition is limited to 80, 90. I'm not generalizing, but it is limited to close to 1 lakh people. Lakhs and lakhs of people really want to get into all India services, but only few deserve. Out of those deserving one, competition is limited to 80,000 to 1 lakh people. तो उनमें अगर आपको अपनी पहचान बनानी है तो अपनी प्रिपरेशन को 3 स्टेज में डिवाइड करें. This is my suggestion it to you. So once you are going to go through all 3 stages, then you are in a process of appearing in the exam. Later on, one very important aspect of preparation these days is current affairs. Now, student, a lot of people who actually eventually manage to crack this exam, they are good reader. They read Hindu and Indian Express religiously, and predominantly their preparation being derived from the reading editorials of the Hindu and Indian Express itself. Hindu and Indian Express editorials are indeed becoming an integral part of your preparation. They should not be looked into some isolated preparation. They are indeed a part of their integral preparation. So Importance of current affairs. There are 4 aspects of preparing current affairs, because current affairs will entail 4 important things. Number 1, of course, you'll get a lot of awareness about new development, facts and information. Take my word, just 1 hour ago or maybe 45 minutes ago, I was having a discussion with you on to knowing thyself. तो मैं यही तो बोल रहा था कि अगर आपको पढ़ने की आदत है, if you have the approach, if you have the ability, if you have the interest in reading good content and good material, then reading editorial will always excite you. The first hallmark of a serious aspirant is he started reading editorials, and he started taking a lot of interest in reading editorials. Because once you are reading editorials, you'll be going to get more aware about new development, facts, information, because editorials are written not by normal people. They are written by top-notch academicians, some doyens, some intellectuals of their respective field, some real achiever of their respective field. For example, if there is one article related to vaccination, there's a lot of debate right now going on in Twitter related to vaccination right now. So if there is going to be one article written on vaccination, whether it is pro or con, all these things are going to be there in your mind. But once you're reading the editorial, it is written by whom? It is written by the acclaimed personality, and those acclaimed personality are sharing the years and years of wisdom to you. So if you are going to read the editorials from initial days of your preparation itself, how you have to proceed ahead, this is something I'll be definitely going to share with you throughout the course of my classes itself. You'll be going to get more aware about new development, facts, information. You'll be going to have huge amount of thought-provoking ideas and sentences. Very essential. Thought-provoking ideas. कुछ ऐसे आइडियाज जिनको लिखने के बाद एग्जामिनर खुद कहेगा कि बहुत एसेंशियल बात लिखी है. He has written a very beautiful, important point, which is very, very essential for our overall understanding of the topic itself. Newspaper will enrich your vocabulary, because if I'm going to suggest you that please read 50 books of history, 10 books of constitution, 20 books of economy, it's beyond human comprehension, it's beyond human capacity and abilities, it is not going to be possible. But if I'm going to say you read 50 articles of Indian economy for the past at least 18 months, if you're going to do those 50 articles, take my word, you would be a truly different individual altogether, and you would be in a better position to appear in the competitive exam compared to your peers. So reading editorials or reading the Hindu and Indian Express will give you thought-provoking ideas. And I've written a very important point. Keep this thing in your mind. This presentation is going to be downloadable as well. I'm going to ask my team so that from the YouTube itself, it is going to get downloadable. And for those students who have been already registered with us, I'm going to make sure my team is going to send you the soft copy of this presentation itself in the PDF format. So we need to make sure that by reading newspaper should not be read in a manner which you've been doing for the past at least 20-21 years. अब तो लोगों की आदत ही छुड़ गई न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ने की, but आपको डेवलप करनी पड़ेगी, whether it is online or whether it is offline or whether it is having a physical copy. So newspaper will give you thought-provoking ideas. जो दिमाग की बत्ती जिसे बोलते हैं, दिमाग की बत्ती जला दी. Thought-provoking ideas. Those thought-provoking ideas which will make you think about a particular topic in truly a different manner altogether. For example, in the recent past, we have had a huge amount of success with the virtue of having successfully operating the Operation Sindoor. So Operation Sindoor is going to be a turning point in India's military doctrine. But every operation has its own pros and cons. We need not to look into the only positive aspect. There are certain dark aspect of it. And those dark aspects can only be there when you are going to read certain thought-provoking ideas. And by reading those thought-provoking ideas, you are going to be much aware personalities. Your critical argument will increase. Your argumentative abilities will increase. You'll be going to have good vocabulary bank in your mind and in your notes, which you are eventually going to use in your 150 word or 250 word answer itself. So it will enrich your academic vocabulary, it will give you critical argument, and of course, it will strengthen your static GS portion itself. For example, in today's Hindu newspaper, a very important article been written by R.K. Vij, if I'm not wrong, in today's newspaper itself, written by R.K. Vij. R.K. Vij sir is a former ADGP of Chhattisgarh Police. And he's been writing some important article in Hindi newspaper, some very important essential article in a Hindi newspaper related to criminal justice system in our country. So don't you think by reading the article of R.K. Vij, who has already dedicated at least 35 years of his life towards the Indian police services, so his knowledge related to the practical application of functioning of the criminal justice system is beyond what a certain book can teach you or a certain faculty can teach you. So by reading his article, your understanding of criminal justice system will increase. He has written an article in today's newspaper related to proposed 130th constitutional amendment bill, which is related to amendment in the Article 75 of our constitution. So by reading articles, you will be going to have a truly different territory of knowledge, and you should respect this particular process itself. So my suggestion to you is, in all the three stages of your preparation, first, second, third stage, newspaper should be a common factor. You should start dedicate yourself 1 hour daily to read the editorials. I will teach you later on. अब सारी चीजें एक ही दिन में नहीं बता दूंगा, but I will teach you later on how you have to go ahead with the editorial. This is something I've been doing for the past 15 years, and I'm definitely going to guide you in a proper manner how you have to go ahead with the current affairs sections, and especially making a balance between the editorials and of course the current news. So in all three stages of your preparation, current affairs do play a very important role. And it is not only limited to the GS paper 2 and paper 3 section, it is going to play a very vital and handy role in paper 1 and paper 4 as well. So right now, student, I have already gone through half of my discussion. So my first initial stages of suggestion to each and every one of you is, number one, you should respect yourself. You should know yourself. You should know your education background. You should know your approach कि अब तक मैंने student life में किया क्या है. Aspiration है कि भाई इतने बड़ा आदमी बनना है. I have to crack this exam. I have to be there in the top echelons of the bureaucracy in our country. But you have to have aspirations and pragmatic approach aligned together. And pragmatic approach means you should understand yourself, your family background, your skills. You should know the competition. I'm again repeating, competition is limited to at least 80,000-90,000 sincere students, who I believe are the sincere students. Rest all there just for the having sake of appearing in the exam. They are filling up the form. Rest all people are definitely not considered to be a part of the competition. They are just a horde, which are definitely going to be only becoming a कॉम्पिटेटिव एस्पेक्ट अप्रोच उनकी बिल्कुल डिफरेंट है. वो केवल अपीयर करना जानते हैं, उसके अलावा वो बहुत ज़्यादा प्रिपेयर नहीं किए हुए हैं. कॉम्पिटिशन इज प्राइमरली बीन लिमिटेड टू सम लिमिटेड नंबर ऑफ पीपल, एंड if you are going to have 10 lakh people appearing in the exam, 8 lakh people appearing in the exam, all people are not going to have the same type of knowledge bank. Few people are going to be extraordinary, rest are going to be average, and most of the people are not considered to be good enough for the exam itself. अब अगर आपको एक सेकेंड स्टेज में आना है कि आपको कम से कम उन 80-90,000 लोगों में आना है, सो यू शुड रिस्पेक्ट द प्रोसेस, एंड प्रोसेस इज ऑलवेज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट देन द फाइनल रिजल्ट. यू शुड रिस्पेक्ट द प्रोसेस. प्रोसेस इज ऑलवेज द most important aspect of your overall preparation. If you are going to respect the process, eventually results are going to be there in your favor. So current affairs should be well integrated with your all three stages of your preparation itself. Now comes a very important point. What should be my study plan for both UPSC and state PCS? I'm using the word UPPCS over here because in this batch of ours, almost 90% syllabus is being well integrated of UPSC and UPPCS. UPPCS does require some important understanding of Uttar Pradesh economy, Uttar Pradesh geography. This is something we'll be going to take the sessions in a different manner. But most of the syllabus of UPPCS and UPSC are same. Of course, the degree of knowledge which is required for the UPSC exam is slightly on a higher side. But eventually, if you are going to prepare very specifically for the UPSC exam very sincerely, then UPPCS exam would be truly aligned with your aspiration itself. So what should be my study plan for UPSC and UPPCS? So here are my recommendations to each and every one of you. First of all, for at least 8 to 10 months. For at least upcoming 8 to 10 months, your target should be first stage plus current affairs. That's my first recommendation. That's my first recommendation for the upcoming 8 to 9 months. For example, right now we are into the month of November. Let's say today is 30th of October. We are already into the month of November right now, almost right now. So from November, December to August 2026, I'm having a belief that most of those students who have just joined us, who have enrolled with us, or who may be going to enroll with us later on, they may be going to appear in the exam primarily in the year 2027. उसके बाद हो तो अलग चीज है, but primarily in the year 2027. So you should first of all put your primary focus onto the first stage of your preparation, which is all about history, polity, economy, geography. And apart from that, current affairs. Current affairs should not be done after 8 or 9 months. You must be having a belief कि सर शुरुआत में तो समझ में नहीं आता है. समझ में नहीं आता है, कुछ कुछ चीज़ें समझ में आने लगेंगी और उनको आप ऐड करना चालू कर दो, which is I'm going to give you the suggestion in this session itself. So in the first 8, 9, 10 months, you should put your primary focus onto the first stage of your preparation, plus along with that current affairs. After that, after the month of August 2026, for at least 3 to 4 months. Then for at least 3 to 4 months, your focus should be third stage plus current affairs plus first stage revision. The stage that you have already gone through, now you have to recall it, revise it, and of course, rewrite all important points that you have gone through. So this should be your second aspect of preparation for at least 3-4 months. Now these 3-4 months, it means 8-10 months, 3-4 months will make you go nearer to December 26. So by the time December 26, you will be in a very formidable position to appear in the exam. And then comes the second stage of your preparation. And for that third stage, in fact, which is going to be at least 2 to 3 months, and in those 2 to 3 months, you should prepare offshoot subjects and science and technology, international relations. So I should write second stage plus current affairs plus revision. So overall, this should be your study plan. So if somebody going to ask you, what should be my study plan for both the UPSC and in the state PCS exam, you should divide your overall time into 3 parts, into 3 stages. The first stage, current affairs, then third stage, which is all about ethics and the abstract area, plus current affairs, and then about second stage plus current affairs and revision. This is how you should prepare yourself. Of course, every aspirant has its own approach, but ideally you should move in this particular manner, slight amendment as per your understanding, as per your need, as per your condition. You can always improvise, but this is something, my recommendation, which is going to be handy in the longer run. That should be a first suggestion. That should be my first and foremost suggestion. आप इस मैनर में आगे बढ़ने की कोशिश करो. Have a study plan for at least 15-16 months. And of course, if you are going to combine 8 to 10 months, 3 to 4 months, 2 to 3 months, eventually it is going to take at least 15-16 months. And I guess before you appear in the exam, let's say prelims, you need to have at least 1.5 year preparation completely, because by the time 12 months, by the time 14 and 15 months, your maturity level would increase. And eventually you will have a belief कि यार अब मुझे exam में appear करना चाहिए. I am into the right direction itself. And by having a consistent academic approach for at least 15-16 months, by solving a lot of previous year's question, you will realize that now you are good enough, now you are baked enough to appear in the exam. So this should be your study plan. Primarily this should be your study plan. Of course, थोड़ा बहुत तो आप थोड़ा बहुत अपने तरीके से strategize करोगे. But if you are going to have the first stage preparation, history, polity, economy, geography, and later on you will dedicate your time for the second and third stage, this will make sure whole syllabus is going to be approachable by you. If you are comfortable with the syllabus, I always have syllabus in front of your study table, and whatever micro topics which are being mentioned in the syllabus. So you have the micro topic, and micro topics need to be further divided into sub micro topics. So macro, micro, sub-micro topics, it will take at least 14-15 months, 4 pages of notes related to every micro topics. That's going to be more than enough for you to appear in the exam. And now comes a very important recommendation, certain academic resources which you need to follow throughout the course of your preparation. So I'm going to give you certain recommendations over here, and I would recommend keep those recommendations in your mind, always jot it down, always have a pen and a notebook in front of you when you are doing these sessions, whether it is online or whether you are doing it later on as per your comfort zone. So first of all, first stage of your preparation is all about reading history, polity, economy, geography. So for my first recommendation is for history. So history, for ancient history. So for ancient history, a lot of people will give you different type of recommendation, but some important recommendation that I want to share with you. Number one, you should read NCRTs and go through Tamil Nadu NCRTs as well. And for ancient history, you can read R.S. Sharma. So NCRT, Tamil Nadu NCRT, R.S. Sharma, Our Ancient Past, book name is Our Ancient Past. That shall be more than enough for you. Once you are comfortable with these areas, once you are comfortable with these primary stuff, look, I'm a teacher in a coaching institute. But at the same time, I would always recommend certain standard textbook that you should always go through. Of course, teachers are going to take care of their syllabus, but at the same time, you should read certain standard textbook as well. Standard textbook plays a very important role in your overall preparation. So go through important books like R.S. Sharma itself. So this way, you are going to prepare for the ancient history. Then comes the second part, medieval history. So apart from and of course, one thing is common over here. Faculties are going to take their classes, and we are also going to provide you printed notes, the soft copy of the printed notes, and of course on a regular interval, the notes itself. So teachers and coaching institutes are going to play their role, but we cannot subside the role of important standard textbook. And as somebody who's preparing for this exam and somebody who have gone through the students who have been selected in this exam for the past at least 10-15 years, there is one common factor. They are a good reader, they are the avid reader, and they read a lot of good books irrespective whether they are essential for the UPSC exam or not. So first of all, have the approach of being a good reader. And good reader, as far as academics are concerned, these type of good books should be there in your study table, and you should read it as much as it can be possible. So medieval history. So for medieval history, my recommendation, of course, your core subject faculty will give you more orientation related to these subjects, but at the same time, superficially, these are the primary recommendation. If you are going to go ahead with these recommendation, eventually it will give you a good positive results, which I guess is easily accessible. These books are easily accessible. They can be easily purchased, easily accessible, and you can start jotting down some important points related to it. So medieval history, you can go through NCRT and you can go through Satish Chandra. So you can read books by Satish Chandra, one book related to medieval history by Satish Chandra, and of course NCRT and ancient history. Then comes the third part of your UPSC preparation, the art and culture, the cultural heritage for art and culture. So for art and culture, first you go through ancient history quite wisely, and then after that for art and culture, my recommendation would be CCRT notes or NIOS notes. CCRT notes, NIOS notes, and one very famous book, Nitin Singhania, is also there. Yes, no doubt about the fact that faculties are going to play their role. They will make sure that the syllabus is going to be get completely opened up in front of you. They'll be going to give you dictation. They'll be going to give you orientation related to it. But at the same time, a standard textbook should be acknowledged by you. थोड़ा थोड़ा पढ़ते रहना, बीच बीच में देखते रहना, जैसे जैसे टॉपिक समझ में आएगा स्टैंडर्ड टेक्स्ट बुक पढ़ने में और मजा आने लगेगा. So you have this art and culture, you have this medieval history, have this art and culture. Then comes the modern history. So for modern history, your NCRT And apart from your NCRT, you should read Bipin Chandra, India's Struggle for Independence, Bipin Chandra. Very essential one, Bipin Chandra. And one book which I would always recommend to my students, India After Gandhi by Ramachandra Guha, India After Gandhi. There is one book which I would not suggest you to read it straightforward, but once you are having a keen interest in the area of Indian history, then I will recommend book known as A.L. Basham. A very famous book written in the year, I guess, 1954 by A.L. Basham, which is related to history itself, or ancient past itself. Once you are going to type the name of A.L. Basham, you'll be going to have the content related to it. As far as world history is concerned, I guess faculty notes are going to be more than enough. World history, understanding of world history are going to be very essential for your international relations and the recent political development as well. So world history, rely on coaching notes, and other area also rely on coaching notes, faculty notes. But apart from that, there are certain standard textbook. You have the CCRT, NIUS notes, very essential one for art and culture, and Nitin Singhania, and of course the other area of your preparation. So this is going to be first recommendation for the history. Apart from that, other areas, economy, Indian economy. So Indian economy requires, apart from faculty notes, faculty direction, and faculty understanding, faculty orientation related to the topic, you can read 11th and 12th macroeconomic subject. You need to have the understanding of the macroeconomics. Microeconomics is not everyone's cup of tea. Little bit of understanding is fine, but for macroeconomics and 11th and 12th NCRT, you should go through NCRT. And there is one book among the 11th, 12th student, very famous among the 11th, 12th student, Jain Ohri. Jain Ohri is basically a book which actually takes the NCRT syllabus in its mind, and they have created a very beautiful book for the macroeconomics understanding. So for basic fundamentals, apart from the faculty notes, the standard books is the Jain Ohri, macroeconomics understanding 11th and 12th class. And there is one very famous book, Indian economic development of the class 11th itself. Apart from that, my recommendation is last 2-year economic survey. Economic survey will make more sense once you go through the understanding given by your faculty. So last 2-year economic survey, thoroughly reading economic survey, because a lot of questions, a lot of cross questions, a lot of understandings of the prelims exams are going to get clear by the economic survey itself. So economic survey, union budget, that's primarily required. If you really want to follow, if you really want to understand economics from the wider perspective, then I would recommend one video related to Khan Academy. Khan Academy, I'm not talking about the Khan Coaching Academy, which is for the exam preparation. It's a very famous, I hope internet is running, so let me show it to you. Let me show it the Khan Academy itself. It's a very famous education company in America, started by a Bangladeshi origin entrepreneur, Salman Khan, commonly known as Salkin, or Salman Khan over here. Not the Salman Khan of our country, but Salman Khan, who started the education revolution in America, known as Khan Academy. So if you are going to type Khan Academy, let me type economic. So I have learnt a lot related to those videos given by the Khan Academy in my Khan Academy videos. It's a very, very famous YouTube channel, Khan Academy. And if you are going to go through all the important videos which are related to macroeconomics or microeconomics, all important topics are there. So it's a very important channel, and a lot of teachers, a lot of students, a lot of learners enjoy. The revolution is started by Salman Khan in America, and these are some essential stuff related to the economics itself. सो ये भी वीडियोस आप देख सकते हैं. तो कुछ अच्छे चैनल्स तो मैं रिकमेंड जरूर करूंगा which are going to play a very vital role. Let me close this one. I hope it's been quite clear to you. These are the this is the YouTube channel. I am nowhere connected to this channel. First of all, do not ever believe that faculty is promoting one channel. I have nothing to do with this thing. I'm just giving you the input related to your overall preparation. So you can enjoy the Khan Academy videos over here. It's an American channel and it's a very essential one for the understanding of the principle of economics, introduction to economics. तो आप ये देख सकते हो और अपनी understanding को बढ़ा सकते हो. Let me go to the slides itself. So, Indian economy section, economic survey, union budget, Khan Academy, and of course, a lot of reading related to current issues. Lot of reading related to current affairs. And current affairs should be done on a regular basis. Initially, there will be certain hiccups because you may not be going to get comfortable with the technical terms. But once you are comfortable with the understanding of average understanding of the topic, then these topics will make more sense to you. For example, last night, the American Federal Bank decided to decrease their federal rate by 0.25%, which is 25 basis point. Now, once the interest rate has been reduced in America, how is it going to have its impact onto the bond market, onto the bullion market, onto the stock market? All these are the basic understanding which you will eventually realize by reading some good content, by reading some good articles. So, here is the suggestion related to Indian economy. 11th and 12th macroeconomics, NCRT by Jan and Ori, economic survey, union budget, if possible, Khan Academy videos, and of course, current affairs on a regular basis. This will pave the way for you to have a very formidable command in the section of Indian economy. After that, apart from that, you have the geography area. For the geography section, for this particular geography section, recommendation is NCRTs, right from your class 6 to class 12 NCRTs. Number 1, J.C. Leong for physical geography, mapping part through Atlas. Savinder Singh for physical geography, and Majid Hussain for Indian geography. Is it going to be more than enough? I guess definitely more than enough. Every year in your prelims exam, you'll be going to have at least 15-16 questions which are going to be hardcore geography question, and they are going to be primarily theoretical questions, and those theoretical and technical questions can be easily handled by you if you are quite comfortable with the preparation in this manner, especially certain technical topics. So geography is slightly difficult part of preparing for UPSC because it requires a lot of technical know-how, lot of physics, lot of understanding of applied science has been involved over there. So NCRT, J.C. Leong, Savinder Singh, it's a book on physical geography, Majid Hussain, Indian geography book is going to help you a lot. And geography has one offshoot subject which is environment, ecology. And for environment and ecology, last 4 chapter of 12th NCRT, biology, last 4 chapter of 12th biology, you can read this one. You can read last 4 chapter of biology. There is one Shankar IAS notes. There's a very famous coaching institute, Shankar IAS. They also have one written book on environment, Shankar IAS book on environment. You can go through this one. There is one more institute known as PMF IAS. They also have a very good advanced book on geography and of course environment. You can go through this one. But I guess if you are going to go through these things, so the building blocks of environment, ecology and geography is going to get clearer to you. And apart from that, at least last 15 months of current issues. So those last 15 months of current issues will make a lot of sense for your overall geography preparation. So this is the one important preparation area. Students are slightly uncomfortable in preparing this area, but your faculty is going to guide you in a proper manner. But at the same time, you can do stuff related to these things as well. Apart from that, which more subject? Polity. So I'm going to give you a thorough idea of the polity in my tomorrow session because this is my core area. But for the sake of larger understanding, for polity, I would recommend NCRTs, few NCRTs which are related to Indian politics and our constitution at work. Apart from that, DD Basu. Apart from that, Bear Act. And of course, one very important book among all the UPSC aspirant, Lakshmikant. Although it is good enough up to certain extent, but beyond that, it is not at all required, because certain technical aspects, certain nuances of functioning of Indian constitution has been entirely missing in Lakshmikant. It's a very beautiful book. It's a very well curated and crafted book, especially among the UPSC aspirant. A lot of ambiguities related to Indian polity has been removed by Sir Lakshmikant itself in his famous book Indian Polity. But at the same time, प्लीज इसी किताब के भरोसे मत रहिए, कुछ चीजें एडवांस लेवल पे जरूर पढ़नी पड़ेंगी, विच आई विल बी गोइंग टू वर्क विथ यू. So NCRT, DD Basu, Bear Act, Lakshmikant, and my favorite book, PM Bakshi, which is going to be read by you along with the Bear Act. So once you are going to read the important aspect of Article 15, you should read a lot of case laws, or those laws in which Constitution article been interpreted by the Supreme Court, and for this you can refer to PM Bakshi itself. So I guess these are going to be more than enough for your overall preparation. How you are going to proceed ahead with the books, how you are going to go make notes, this is something you'll be going to learn throughout the course of your preparation. But as far as the academic resources are concerned, that's going to be more than enough for you. Now comes one more area, ethics. So how you are going to prepare ethics? My first and foremost suggestion for each and every one of you, whether you enjoy it or whether you don't enjoy it, but please do one thing: read 11th and 12th political science book, NCRT of course. Read 11th and 12th NCRT of political science, sociology and psychology. First of all, do this thing. Read certain basic elementary books related to political science, sociology, psychology, because ethics as the subject is combination of public administration, sociology, political theories, psychology, human behavior. So you need to have this understanding. Apart from that, you need to be very good in terms of definition. So I would recommend certain definitions related to public administration, certain definition related to psychology, human psychology. You need to be comfortable over here. As far as the books are concerned, there is one known as Subba Rao. It's a comprehensive book of ethics, but it is not the final solution. Subba Rao. And then there is one book known as Lexicon, which is primarily full of definitions and technical jargons. So ethics can be formidably prepared apart from the faculty orientation and understanding given by him in his or her classes. You can read 11th, 12th political science, sociology, psychology. Fundamentals थोड़े यहाँ से देखो, definition देखो तो पता चलेगा कि subject है क्या. And then after that, certain definitions should be prepared from the Subba Rao or from the lexicon itself. So in this manner, you can prepare the ethics part. Apart from that, here comes Indian society section. So Indian society section and social justice section should primarily be prepared by you in the later half of your preparation or into the advanced stage of your preparation, because these subjects are primarily associated with the mains exam itself. So Indian society and social justice, my recommendation would be, apart from the faculty notes, first of all, your primary focus should be onto the faculty notes. Apart from the faculty notes, you can make sure that 11th NCRT and 12th NCRT, especially the 12th NCRT, should be quite clearer to you, and a lot of understanding related to current issues. So a lot of social topics, current issues. For example, the problem of juvenile delinquency in our country, juvenile crimes in our country, the problem related to women emancipation in our country, the problem related to HIV/AIDS patients in our country, the problem related to, I would rather say, issues related to prostitution, issues related to child trafficking. These are some modern day social problems that we are witnessing. What is your unique solution related to those problems? This is something you'll be going to come across in a lot of current issues reading. So current issues reading, faculty notes, 11th, 12th NCERT. There are certain books as well. So you have Ram Ahuja, which I guess has not been updated since time immemorial. You have SC Dubey. These type of books are there, but I don't think they are good enough. It means they are not going to give you the complete idea of the understanding of the syllabus, but just for the sake of your preparation, एक दो reading uski kar sakte hain, it will help you. Now comes governance. For governance and internal security. For governance and internal security, my recommendation would be ARC reports. And apart from ARC reports, a lot of updates from the PIB. There is one government agency, PIB, Press Information Bureau. Whatever decisions are going to be taken by the government on a day-to-day basis and by the cabinet are going to get updated over there in the PIB. So PIB पे नजर रखो, ARC reports पढ़ो. ARC की कौन सी report पढ़नी है? Of course, faculty will teach you later on. But if you are comfortable with the ARC, latest debates through PIB, and of course, a lot of understanding on public policies. Lot of understanding on the public policies, you'll be going to having a good approach for clearing the governance section itself. So governance, internal security, Indian society, social justice are going to be prepared in this manner. So this is how you are going to proceed ahead with the syllabus itself. I guess I've covered everything. Disaster management, environment, ecology, geography I've covered. Governance, internal security I've covered. Economy, history, polity, geography, ethics, I've covered everything. One more important recommendation. Certain websites, certain important website that you can follow. So my suggestion would be follow one website on a regular basis, which is very important, essential for India's parliamentary functioning, prindia.org. Certain important laws, bills are going to be acknowledged by the prindia.org, and they will give you a foolproof learning related to those important bills itself. So prindia.org will give you a lot of understanding about the public policies in our country. Not too many people are aware about one very good website run by Government of India, New India Samachar. So you can follow this particular website, New India Samachar, as well. And of course, regular reading of the editorials of The Hindu and Indian Express. prindia.org, New India Samachar, The Hindu, Indian Express are going to help you a lot. Now, here comes the very important thing. Should I need to follow certain YouTube channel for preparing the UPSC exam? My suggestion would be, in the initial days of your preparation, you should put your head down and put your primary focus onto some standard books instead of wasting your time on YouTube channel. Please understand, these YouTubers, YouTube channels, influencer, they are creating 10 videos in a day, 5 videos in a day, 2 videos in a day, not to teach you, but to garner likes and having a lot of multiple views. So they are going to get more popular. More popular means more number of students are going to enroll with them, and of course they are going to have a lot of views. Lot of views means more viewership. More viewership means more money for them. They have least concern with the academic orientation. They are more concerned with their monetary aspect. It's not like that they are doing something bad or it's going to harm you in the longer run. But as far as somebody who's preparing for this exam in a very sincere manner, you should follow certain YouTube channel once you attain certain status where things are going to get more comprehensive for you. And in order to save time, you are following certain channels for the editorial learning. So for initial 1 year, no YouTube channel, no Telegram channel, only books and only the first stage of preparation. That's my humble recommendation. Final choice is always yours. So prindia.org, New India Samachar, The Hindu, Indian Express, more than enough for your current issues. How you are going to proceed ahead with the current issue, this is something faculties like me and my other colleagues are definitely going to give you orientation throughout the course of your preparation. And if possible, I'm going to make a separate video for the current issues as well. In fact, if you are watching this video on YouTube itself, if you go through my playlist, you will come across one specific video which I have recorded in the month of March 2025 itself, which is all about how to go ahead with the current affairs section itself. So you can watch that particular video as well. So all these are the important things which you have to go through for your academic resources. Now let me go to my presentation. Let me go back to my presentation and let me come across certain important FAQs, frequently asked question itself. Did I discuss any syllabus part today? No, today's session is all about open session. It's all about you. It's all about knowing me. I guess in the past at least 1.5 hour, you must be getting the confidence that if I'm going to follow all three stages of preparation in a very prudent and effective manner, I may be going to stand somewhere after 2.5 years. So let's ask certain frequently asked question. I have prepared these frequently asked question after having a discussion with a lot of the students, and by and large, since I'm taking the online session, so online session I need to be interactive in a monologue manner. I cannot have a dialogue with you as of now. तो मैंने ये कुछ FAQs prepare किए और इन्हीं FAQs में आपके भी कुछ questions involve हो जाएंगे. I believe so. So here comes the first question. Is there a perfect and proven academic strategy for UPSC and UPPSC? Answer is no. There is no perfect academic strategy. There are people who are giving strategy on a day-to-day basis कि 3 महीना रह गया है, 4 महीना रह गया है, and I have followed certain Twitter channel. वो तो डेली ये लिखते रहते हैं कि अब यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स को इतने डेज रह गए, उतने डेज रह गए. Does it really matter? Not at all. What really matter is whenever you start doing your preparation, you may have to make sure that you put at least 8 to 10 hours daily in front of your study table, and you should rather be a firm believer in being an executor rather than being a planner. So there is nothing called as a proven perfect academic strategy, but one thing is very sure, you have to be comfortable in the first stage of your preparation, which I have already shared with you. If you are comfortable with the first stage, which is all about understanding HPEG, history, polity, economy, geography, making a formidable approach over there, I guess things will move in the right direction. And be a perfect executioner. You have the content, you have the notes, start reading notes, start reading academic inputs, and start writing all different type of things in a swift manner. So first of all, answer to this particular question is strictly no. There is nothing called as perfect academic strategy. Whatever strategy that you are going to follow, whatever academic plan that you are going to follow, if you are going to stick to it, if you are going to execute at least 75-80% of it, things will move in the right direction, to be very honest. Should I complete my whole syllabus and then appear in exam? No. Syllabus cannot be completed. Even those people who have been selected in this particular exam, even they can suggest it to you that syllabus is such a huge wide aspect of area of academic inputs that it cannot be prepared in one lifetime. But of course, in certain areas you need to be above average, some high scoring areas, and in few areas you can compromise. तो पूरा syllabus नाम की चीज कभी complete नहीं होगी. Don't wait for that particular day when you are going to complete the whole syllabus, and then you will eventually rise from your bed and say, now I'm comfortable with the syllabus, now I'm going to appear in the exam. That day will never arise. Make sure you are comfortable with certain important areas like history, polity, economic, geography, which comprises at least 50-60% of your overall preparation. If you are comfortable with those areas, apart from that, apart from that, you are comfortable with the current issues of at least last 15 to 18 months, it's more than enough for you. Third question. Should I start practicing answer from the initial days of my preparation itself? A very difficult question. Certain people, certain academicians, certain people from my fraternity itself, they have a belief that immediately from the initial days of your preparation, you start having the approach of writing answers. And my suggestion is no. Instead of writing answers from the initial days of your preparation, you should start preparing synopsis. You should start preparing synopsis. Now, what do we mean by synopsis? For example, by looking into the previous year's question तो फिर भी difficult होंगे. शुरुआत में अगर कोई simple question है, तो suppose that you come across a very simple question related to geography. For example, let's say there is a question related to give a brief account of volcanic activity in India. Give a brief account of volcanic activity in India, where we have some active volcanoes. If we are not having active volcanoes, what are the primary reasons for it? Give a brief account of it. So you should not immediately jump onto it and write the answers. You should start looking into the synopsis. Synopsis means if there is a particular question, how I'm going to write the body part of it, how I'm going to introduce it, how I'm going to have the introduction, how I'm going to have the body part of it, how I'm going to have the conclusion related to it. Start thinking in this particular manner. I have seen those students who have not written a single answer till the day they clear prelims. I have seen those students who have not written a single answer till the day they have clear prelims, but immediately after clearing the prelims, they start looking into their previous notes, they start preparing a lot of synopsis and write like a maverick immediately after the prelims result, and eventually they sailed through. So there is no ubiquitous answer, universal answer for it. But my strategy would be, initially you should put your primary focus on concept building. Your primary focus should be on concept building. Your primary focus should be on enriching your academic input. Once you are comfortable with the academic input, then you can easily go towards the synopsis part. And once synopsis part, concept building are going to align together, then you can go ahead with the answer writing. So my recommendation is, तुरंत आंसर लिखने की कोशिश मत करो, किसी को कुछ प्रूफ नहीं करना है, पहले कंसेप्ट बिल्ड करो. फर्स्ट बिल्ड द कंसेप्ट इन अ वेरी consolidated manner and start thinking about the synopsis part of it, and then you should think about the answers itself. And it would be better if you are going to maintain your notes in which you are writing the questions. Once you prepare the particular topic, write 4 or 5 questions. Even if you are not going to attempt the answers, at least have the synopsis of those questions in your mind. So this is the important question. One more question. Do I need to attempt test series and PYQ from initial days of preparation itself? Again, answer is no, especially test series part. Test series part of coaching institute should only be done in certain advanced stage of your preparation. For example, right now it's November 2025. And if you are going to go through first stage completely, which is all about building blocks of history, polity, economy, geography. So if you are in November 2025, you are starting doing your preparation, you are comfortable with the first stage, then after November 26, you should attempt the test series question along with that previous year's question. Previous year's question करने के दो तरीके होते हैं. The first thing is you've read, let's say, one topic on fundamental rights. So you are quite comfortable with the topic of fundamental rights thoroughly and wisely. Then you can look into the previous year's question topic wise. And once you look into the question topic wise, you will realize कि हाँ यार question बन रहे हैं. You will gain the confidence. So previous year's question should be done in two manner. Number one, once you finish the topic, look into the PYQ, solve it immediately. You'll get the idea. And then later on, once you are comfortable with all the topics of all history, polity, economy, geography, and certain other areas, and you are into a test mode right now, or prelims mode or mains mode right now, then you can eventually solve the question year wise. So first topic should be solved topic wise, or question should be solved topic wise, and then later on it should be solved in year wise manner. तो पहले क्या करना, topic पढ़ते रहना. First, for example, you just gone through ancient history, pick all questions related to ancient history. Or let's say you've gone through Mahajanpad, or let's say you've gone through questions related to religion. Let's say you've gone through topics related to Buddhism. So once you are comfortable with the topic of Buddhism and Jainism, then start looking into questions related to Buddhism and Jainism, which have been asked in the UPSC for the past 15-20 years. So my suggestion is, number one, PYQs करते रहने चाहिए. Initially, it should be more topic wise, and later on, it should be more year wise. Of course, once you are going to solve the lot of PYQs topic wise, तो year wise करने में ज़्यादा मज़ा नहीं आएगा क्योंकि already solve हो चुका होगा. But जब आप दोबारा करोगे उसको तो आपको पता चलेगा why these questions have been asked, what are the various other details related to it. Because every 3 months your maturity will increase, and every 3 months you will be a truly different individual altogether. So this is the primary suggestion from my part. Do I need to attempt test series and PYQ from initial days of preparation? Answer is both yes and no. As far as the test series is concerned, answer is no. You cannot do this thing that you have just gone through 1 month of your preparation and you start picking up Vajiram test series, Drishti test series, Vision test series, and you start solving it. No, it should not be in this manner. It should be first get comfortable, first have your consolidated foot, and then only you should think about solving the test series paper. It should be after 1 year, test series paper. PYQs, you can do it topic wise initially. One very important point. A lot of people are missing this particular question. Do I need to have an alternate career option? A big yes. Student, please do not consider me as a teacher for you. Please consider me as a mentor for you, and mentor for you for the career option that you can have. I'll again repeat, I'm going to teach you 3 subjects: Indian polity, Indian society, and social justice. This is the task this institute has assigned it to me. So I'm going to complete this task very wisely, as with my full conviction and with my full capacities. But beyond that, I'm going to have a lifelong relationship with you. I'm suggesting it to you. If you at any point of time, if you at any point of time wants to have a discussion related to alternative career option, if you are an enrolled student with me over here, and if you want to have the discussion with me onto any alternate career option, I would be more than happy to guide you. A student, somebody who's preparing for this exam, my real success would be for you not to achieve success in this exam, but in fact to achieve success in your professional life. Even after 5 years, if you say, sir, I have gone through academic session with you, but I couldn't manage to clear the exam, but still the type of knowledge I have accumulated with you, the type of discipline that I've learned with you, I am doing certain good things in other aspect of my life, and this would be my real happiness. Last year, one of my student, I guess he did his engineering from Indore, and after completing his engineering degree from Indore, he has gone through at least 2 or 3 attempts of UPSC. Unfortunately, couldn't sail through. But last year he attempted Common Admission Test (CAT). He came out with flying numbers, I guess somewhere around close to 99.9 percentile, and eventually he got some MBA admission in one of the Ivy League institution in our country. And he dropped me a message, said that although I was not able to clear the UPSC exam, but the kind of overall learning that we have gone through is really helping me a lot, and it had helped me very much in my interview process, in the MBA admission process itself. So that would be my real success. As a teacher, that would be my real success, because I believe in this particular exam, in UPSC exam, where seats are very limited and where competition is very obnoxious, it's very difficult exam. It's a very difficult exam not because it involves very huge amount of technical details, but the width of syllabus, and at the same time the type of difficulty we actually come across to have a patience for at least 3 or 4 years. It's a very difficult thing for any individual. So even if you are not going to sail through, you should have the alternate career option in your mind. Alternate career option means, apart from UPSC and state PCS, you think about other exam. I guess yesterday itself, SEBI came out with the notification, bank PO exams are there. Of course, every exam requires a truly different approach altogether. Initially, for 1 or 2 years, if you are started preparing for UPSC exam, apart from UPSC, don't think about any other exam. Once you are comfortable with the syllabus of UPSC, start appearing in the exam, and meanwhile, apart from the UPSC syllabus, start looking into some parallel exams as well. So parallel exam should be think upon by you only after 1 or 2 years. Once you are a good candidate altogether, good aspirant altogether, as far as the syllabus of UPSC is concerned. Every exam required different approach. ये नहीं कर सकते कि एक ही बार में एसएससी भी दे दिया और छोटे मोटे एग्जाम भी दे दिए, रेलवे का भी दे दिया, यूपीएससी भी दे दिया. ये सब साथ में नहीं चलेगा. पहले आपको एक प्रोसेस को रिस्पेक्ट करना पड़ेगा. यू शुड रिस्पेक्ट द प्रोसेस ऑफ यूपीएससी फॉर एटलीस्ट 2 years, and once you are comfortable with the UPSC syllabus, start appearing in the exam, and apart from that, in order to have a career surety, start looking into other exam as well, or maybe some corporate jobs as well. Maybe if let's say you are a computer science graduate, or if you want to make a career in information technology area where number of jobs are more compared to any other sector in our country. So apart from your UPSC preparation, you should develop approach to solve a lot of lead code questions. Any computer science graduate must be having more idea than me compared to what is lead code. So start solving a lot of lead code questions, and at the same time start looking into technical details of coding language as well. तो इस तरीके से alternate career option बनाने पड़ेंगे आपको, और वो आपसे बेहतर कोई नहीं जानता है. And if you really want to have any discussion related to alternative career option, I'm always going to be available for you. How to make a balance between a wide syllabus and regular revision? So one thing is very sure, revision really matter a lot, because hardly 1 or 2 technical subjects are there in UPSC which requires a lot of gray cells of your brain to put your entire focus, which means slightly difficult, which I believe geography part is there, and I believe certain areas related to economy is there. History, polity, most of economy, most of geography, most of ethics and society and all these areas does not require unbelievable amount of technical approach. If you sit in front of your table for a longer period of time, and if you have the tenacity to be there for at least 12 months, 18 months very wisely, then I guess syllabus is going to be very much clear to you. But syllabus पढ़ लेना कोई approach थोड़ी ना होती है, syllabus को recall करना ज़्यादा important है. So how to make a balance between it? Very simple. Once you are comfortable, for example, you've gone through 5 chapters of ancient history. So once you are going to read the 6th chapter, please make sure you are not going to read the 6th chapter until and unless you make the short notes of first 5 chapter itself. Revision should be a continuous process. It should be a continuous process. Read one book or read those books which I have shared with you, but read it multiple times. Read it multiple times. Make short notes. How to make short notes? This is something respective faculty members are going to share with you in their respective area of expertise. Having said that, रीड शॉर्ट नोट्स ऑन अ रेगुलर बेसिस, और उसको फ्रीक्वेंटली कभी टाइम टेबल नहीं बनाना है, कभी आधे घंटे फिर पढ़ लिया, फिर कभी आधे घंटे पढ़ लिया, फिर कभी आधे घंटे पढ़ लिया, तो इस तरीके से रिवाइज होता रहेगा. द मोर यू राइट, द मोर कंफर्टेबल यू विल बी गोइंग टू बी. इवेंचुअली दिस एग्जाम इज ऑल अबाउट रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ नॉलेज रादर देन हैविंग द नॉलेज. सो you can make a balance between revision and wide syllabus. For example, you've gone through ancient history. Now you are reading modern history. So modern history, you are reading it but revising ancient history. Later on, you are reading world history. So world history, you are reading it but revising ancient history and medieval history. That's how in the blockchain manner you should keep on doing the revision. और फिर जब एक पूरा सब्जेक्ट प्रिपेयर हो जाए, उसको कुछ दिन के लिए साइड में रख दिया, नया सब्जेक्ट उठाया, एंड दैट्स हाउ यू हैव टू मूव अहेड. ऑफ कोर्स थोड़ा और इसमें डिटेल्स बताई जा सकती है, बट दिस इज समथिंग it would be better if you will be going to look into subject wise rather than the syllabus wise itself or for the all GS area wise itself. तो एक एक एरिया में आपको इसका डायरेक्शन मिलता चला जाएगा, which you are definitely going to observe it. Next slide. How many serious attempts do I need to give? What do we mean by serious attempt? Serious attempt means comfortable with all 3 stages of your preparation. If you have gone through the process of first stage, second stage, third stage for the past at least 12 months and 18 months, then you are good enough to be a serious aspirant. And if you are a serious aspirant, then I would always recommend have 2 or 3 serious attempts. What do we mean by serious attempt? Serious attempt means UPSC is your topmost priority for at least 2 or 3 attempts. After 2 or 3 attempts, I would rather suggest look for alternative career option, because you cannot be 27 years of age, 28 years of age, 29 years of age stage, and you think that only UPSC is going to be my bread and butter. That's never going to be the case. After having 2 or 3 good serious attempts where you are preparing full throttle and you are giving your 100% with full conviction that either in this attempt or next attempt I'm going to go through this exam, I don't think after 2, 3 or 4 attempts you should think beyond that. So I guess at least 18 months of preparation, 16 months of preparation before you attempt the exam, 16 months or at least 8 months of one attempt and then 8 months of next attempt. At least 4-year target should be there in your mind. 4-year target means primarily at least 3 or 4 attempts. That's it. So these 3 or 4 attempts you should think about, and other than that, various other things also depends. For example, what's your family background, what's your education background, what's your cultural background, because it may be possible that you are into the age group of, let's say, 27, 28 years, and there is a constant family pressure of earning some money, getting into a job, getting married, getting settled. All these type of things depends upon your family background. So I'm not going to go comment on it, but right now, my humble suggestion to each and every one of you, at least have a objective of giving at least 2, 3, 4 serious attempts. That's it. Should I prepare full time or should I make a balance between my job or higher studies? It should be should I. Should I prepare full time or should I make a balance between my job or higher studies and UPSC preparation? Again, this is a very individual question. I have gone through people who are in a job and finally managed to crack the exam. And I have seen those people who've been preparing for this exam for the past at least 5 years, sitting full time in a dingy room, but is still finding it difficult to crack. So it's a very individual question. My suggestion would be, after having 2 or 3 serious attempts full time, which means you are restricting yourself to UPSC preparation, and apart from UPSC preparation, you are not opting for anything else. Apart from 2-3 attempts, I guess it would be better if you are doing a job or you are doing a higher studies and also preparing for the exam. For example, you registered yourself for a PhD program, you register yourself for a master program, you've registered yourself for some advanced courses in the field of finance or technology, or you're doing a job and at the same time managing your weekends, managing your weekdays and preparing for the exam. So it's a very individual question. My suggestion, both these questions are very much comprehensive and at the same time complementary to each other. And answer to these question is, 2-3 अटेम्प्ट फुल टाइम अच्छे से देने की कोशिश करो, उसके बाद better get into higher studies, better get into some jobs. And of course, don't let that burning desire of appearing in the exam get completely vanish. You can prepare simultaneously because once you are comfortable with all the 3 stages of your preparation, then you can do certain jobs, you can look into certain master degree, and at the same time, you can try your luck in the exam as well. Can I prepare simultaneously for both UPSC and UPPCS or even a state PCS exam? My answer to this is no. No, you need not to prepare simultaneously for both UPSC and UPPCS at the same time. For example, let's say, in November 26, your UPPCS exam is there. Let's say in November 26, your UPPCS exam is there. So you cannot ride on both the boat at the same time. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, सुबह पढ़ लिया PCS, शाम को पढ़ लिया UPSC, ऐसा नहीं करना पड़ेगा. You have to have a pinpoint focus. You have to have the priority fixed. First of all, anybody who cracked this state PCS exam, they prepare for UPSC more comprehensively, and after preparing more comprehensively, they find it very easier to read the state PCS syllabus. Apart from reading the state specific content, they are finding it quite easy. So my suggestion is, initially put your entire focus on UPSC. Ideally, that's what I use the term ideally. Ideally, you should put your at least 1 or 2 attempts seriously for UPSC. And once you are comfortable with the 1 or 2 attempt of UPSC, you are comfortable with the syllabus, you have gone through the process of appearing in the exam itself and been very much oriented toward the UPSC syllabus, then you can opt for UPPCS or any state PCS exam. That's my suggestion. A couple of my students who managed to crack the post of DYSP, SDM in various state PCS exam, been preparing for 2-3 years for UPSC, and after appearing at least 1 or 2 attempts in UPSC, they decided to appear in the state PCS exam and eventually they managed to crack it. तो मेरा सजेशन है, पहले UPSC को खूब अच्छे से प्रिपेयर करके उसके बाद 1-2 अटेम्प्ट दे लो, और फिर उसके बाद अगर आप स्टेट PCS को ऑप्ट करोगे तो ज़्यादा बेहतर रहेगा. नो हार्म इन अटेम्प्टिंग इनिशियली, बिकॉज आई गेस एज लिमिट इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम इन द स्टेट PCS एग्जाम, बट इट डज हैव अ प्रॉब्लम इन द UPSC एग्जाम. सो टेक योर attempt very sincerely in the UPSC for at least 1 or 2 attempts, and after that you can try your luck in the UPPCS or any other state PCS exam. What should be my academic plan to appear in mains and prelims test series? I have already answered it. Your academic plan to appear in mains and prelims test series is, first, the most important, relevant, sine qua non aspect of preparing for the UPSC exam is go through the first, second and third stage. Once you are comfortable with the first, second and third stage, then you can appear in the mains test series, prelims test series, or whatever coaching institute you want to appear in it. How to gauge my overall preparation, overall standard of preparation? Keep on writing answers. Keep on working with the faculty member and keep on writing answer. I will give you a lot of homework. I will give you a lot of questions to write, and the moment you are going to write the answers, I'm going to gauge your preparation, how good enough you are, or how well prepared you are, or are you moving in the right direction or not. So regular attempting sectional test, regular attempting answer writing, regular solving previous year's question will give you overall framework that my preparation is into the right direction or not, or whether I'm good enough or not. So ये तो easily पता चल जाएगा आपको. How to make academic notes on various subject of GS. Of course, various subjects of GS, I cannot answer it. But as far as my subject are concerned, this is something I'll be going to answer it tomorrow itself. Of course, notes making is very important. Please make sure you should not make notes of faculty, because faculty is going to teach in a very precise manner, because he is going to have a paucity of time, he is going to have a limitation of time, he is going to make sure that you are going to get aware about the syllabus effectively. तो फैकल्टी के नोट्स का नोट्स नहीं बनाना है, फैकल्टी के नोट्स को नोट्स के रूप में देखो और उसको आगे बढ़ा दो, उसके नोट्स मत बनाना. So do not make notes of faculty. Whatever faculty is dictating it to you, whatever he is writing it to you, it is for your own learning. Do not make a notes of notes. You have to make academic notes of Hindu editorials. Read editorials for 1 hour daily and start making notes, information on a regular basis. And apart from making editorial notes, you should make academic notes of a standard textbook. For example, let's say you have gone through modern history. Faculty has gone through the topic of modern history completely. Now you start picking faculty notes, revise it, and start picking Bipin Chandra and start picking notes out of it. सो नोट्स किसके बनाने? केवल स्टैंडर्ड टेक्स्ट बुक के बनाने, बहुत ही स्पेसिफिक फ्लो चार्ट मैनर में, माइंड मैप्स के मैनर में बनाने. दैट्स इट. प्लीज डू नॉट वेस्ट योर टाइम इन मेकिंग फैकल्टी नोट्स, एंड अगेन notes out of notes. Faculty notes are going to be very precise. No need to make notes out of it. Coaching material notes, no need to make notes out of it because they are already in a very precise manner. What you have to do, you have to read certain comprehensive books like I have already given it to you, and you start making notes out of it. How you are going to make notes out of it, this is something eventually every individual respective faculties are going to have a discussion with you. One more important FAQs. How to keep pace with coaching class and self-studies. Coaching class, as I've already told you, are only the catalyst. The real game changer is into the self-studies. So have a proper strategy plan. Keep on discussing things with your faculty members on a regular basis. Whatever direction that they are giving it to you, move into those direction and make sure that you are going to cover the maximum distance. If they are teaching you 4 things, make sure that you are going to couple it with 16 different things. So जो क्लासेस में चल रहा है उसको रिवाइज किया, उससे रिलेटेड कुछ कंटेंट पढ़ा, बुक्स पढ़ी और इस तरीके से पेस बनाने की कोशिश की. एंड प्लीज मेक श्योर, आई एम वार्निंग इट टू यू, इन ऑनलाइन सेशन देयर इज अ ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ ड्रॉप आउट. वन ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम आफ्टर कोरोना that we are witnessing it right now. We are living in the era of Instagram reels and shorts where our attention span is very less. So in this particular era where 10 seconds is considered to be, almost like a documentary thing these days, it's very difficult for students to keep pace with coaching classes and self-study, and that too for a longer period of time of 16 months to 18 months. Half the battle you are already going to win if you are going to be consistent for at least 16-17 months. Keep on doing your classes, regularly follow the notes, and at the same time keep on reading standard textbooks. So वो होता जाएगा. कोचिंग क्लास के नोट्स, रिविजन्स उनको करते रहना. होता क्या है ना कि जब आप केवल सेल्फ स्टडी करोगे तो कोचिंग क्लास करना बंद कर दोगे. केवल कोचिंग क्लास करोगे तो एक सब्जेक्ट के बाद आप ड्रॉप कर जाओगे बिकॉज आपको लगेगा बिकॉज आई एम नॉट डूइंग थिंग्स ऑन माई ओन. So coaching alone will not help you. Coaching plus self-studies in a proper strategic manner will make sure that you are going to have the advanced stage level preparation. Ideally, what should be my daily routine and study plan? Should not be plain over here. It should be study plan. What should be my daily routine and study plan? I guess apart from your classes, I believe at least 1 hour of reading editorials. No need to read whole newspaper, only editorial. 1 hour of going through newspaper, collecting the information, making certain notes, even if things are not making sense to you, making certain important points. How you are going to make those important points, धीरे धीरे वो आपको disclose होने लगेगा. But at least 1 hour of editorials plus at least 2 to 3 hours of reading your NCRTs, whatever subjects that you are going to go through. Apart from that, recalling faculty notes of at least 2 to 3 hours. So this should be your ideal preparation initially. Initially, for the first 6 months, for first 3-4 months, 1 hour of editorial, 2-3 hour of NCRTs and 2-3 hour of recalling your faculty notes, going through standard textbook. और जैसे जैसे subjects बढ़ते चले जाएंगे तो 1 घंटा और ऐड कर लेना. So 1-2-2, it's going to be at least 5 to 8 hours. So initially, have the habit of 5 hours and make sure that you eventually reach towards the stage of 8 hours. Beyond 8 hours, it is not going to be possible for any one of you because efficiency is always going to be very limited. So 6 to 8 hours should be your ideal time of overall preparation of your self-studies during the course of your preparation. What should be my strategy for appearing in a state PCS exam? I have already answered it. First, at least for 1.5 year, primary focus only on going through the syllabus of UPSC and then start making or charting out the plan to appear in the PCS exam. How to read, analyze, grasp learning from the newspaper. Initially, only editorials. Do not waste time on reading. Do not waste time on reading current news because current news are eventually going to get covered by you in certain current affairs magazines. Initially, your primary focus should only be limited to the editorial section. Editorial. Initially, I would recommend start reading The Hindu, and The Hindu comprises 3 pages. Number 1, text context. Number 2, it's the editorial part, and the second part is opinion. तो ये 3 पेजेस रहते हैं. इन 3 पेजेस की रीडिंग करना स्टार्ट करिए बिकॉज प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड द वेटेज of Hindu and Indian Express editorial in your overall preparation has been increased significantly. For example, let's say you are comfortable with the Indian polity and let's say you come across a question related to Forest Right Act. Now, Forest Right Act is a very precise question. UPSC has asked questions related to Forest Right Act multiple times in both mains and prelims, and it has not been given in your Lakshmikant, not been given explicitly in your syllabus. This is something been a very much integral part of your preparation. So various act, various different laws, various different public schemes, public policies, different type of development in the field of international relations, international economy, recent developments, recent definitions, new phenomena, all these are going to be get covered in the editorials. Editorials holds the key. So 1 hour initially for the editorial. सर समझ में नहीं आता शुरुआत में. अरे समझ में क्यों नहीं आएगा? 10 में से थोड़ा बहुत तो आएगा. अगर आप एक इंफॉर्मेशन पढ़ रहे हो, let's say you come across Israel and Hamas war. And once you come across Israel and Hamas war, let's say you come across Balfour Declaration. So don't you think in this era of Google and Chat GPTs, Clouds and Grok, don't you think it would be easy for you to type what is Balfour Declaration? And once you type the Balfour Declaration, you'll be going to have history related to Balfour Declaration. तो पूरा Balfour Declaration पढ़ लो, फिर समझ में आएगा अच्छा इसी Balfour Declaration की वजह से ये इजराइल का कॉलोनी बनाने के लिए परमिशन दी गई और जो मिडिल ईस्ट का पूरा वॉर है ये Balfour Declaration से स्टार्ट होता है. So that's how you are going to learn. Don't wait for that particular honeymoon day where you are very comfortable with the syllabus, very comfortable with the world history, very comfortable with the world economy, and then you will say, now I'm going to read the editorials. No, it should be from day one. If there is one thing that I would recommend each and every one of you to do, start doing from the initial days itself, it should be editorials, not the current news, editorials. Even if it is going to make only 20% sense to you, start doing it. These baby steps will create a giant pyramid of knowledge by the time you are going to finish your preparation. So only editorial should be read. Should I make notes from newspaper? Initially, yes. Certain important facts, news. Don't write the core argument. Certain important facts, news. But it should not be on 8 different topics or 9 different topics. Pick at least 1 or 2 topics which are being repetitive in nature. For example, election commission is being repetitive in our country for the past at least 1 year. So whenever you come across a topic related to election commission, start making notes out of it. तो छोटे छोटे points बना लीजिए, facts बना लीजिए, information लिख लिया, more than enough. Does reading current affairs magazine add values to my preparation? Up to a certain extent, yes. Which magazine should I refer? I would recommend any coaching institute magazine, whether it is Sanskriti IAS magazine that we are going to help it out to you. I will ask my team to make sure in English also they'll be going to prepare a very handy magazine. But till the day we are going to prepare the magazine, please make sure that you can read either Vision IAS or you can read Vajiraman Ravi. My personal suggestion, I may be biased, my personal suggestion is Vajiraman Ravi has a magazine called as Recitals. Go to their website. Recital is easily downloadable. You can read it. And does reading current affairs magazine add values to my preparation? Yes, at least 15 months of current affairs magazines should be read by you before you appear in the exam. But please, 15 months of current affairs magazines and 15 months of editorial are two different things. Editorials are truly different thing. Reading current affairs magazines are truly different thing. Current affairs magazines are all about collection of information, collection of those nitty-gritties, some specific facts, information which you eventually miss during the course of your preparation. Do I need to follow any Telegram channel or YouTube channel for my preparation? Is strictly no. As far as YouTube channel is concerned, this should be done by you only after a certain degree of preparation. Because what do we mean by YouTube channel over here? YouTube channel where faculty is teaching you something, where a presentator is teaching you something. If presentator is teaching you in the right direction, always go through it. But if you are into the initial days of a preparation, you need to have a more focused approach towards reading newspaper, towards reading a standard textbook. अब जरा newspaper और standard textbook भी पढ़ने में आपको interest नहीं आ रहा है, तो उस YouTube वीडियो देख के भी क्या कर लोगे आप? So read books, read NCERTs. Once you are comfortable with it, in order to revise it, recall it, then only you should read or you should follow certain YouTube channels. So for the initial few days, my recommendation is no. But after certain level of preparation, you can follow either one or two. And of course, there are at least, if I'm not wrong, there are at least 1,000 YouTube channels which are, trying to decode the UPSC preparation, including ours, which is right now going through live as well. But all these channels will only make sense once you have a certain degree of preparation. So prepare a certain degree, then one or two channel you can always follow. How UPSC exam in both prelims and mains are changing its nature in recent times. I'll again repeat. They are changing in nature in recent times where bookish knowledge is less relevant and applied knowledge, in-depth applied knowledge makes more sense. Therefore, right now, the explicit part of syllabus which UPSC has already mentioned is losing its value, and the implicit part of syllabus really makes a sense to us. For example, they have just mentioned ecology of India. But if they are going to ask a question, if they have just mentioned ecology, but if they are going to ask a question related to certain specific species which has been critically endangered in India, then it's a very specific thing. And out of thousands of species, if they are asking one particular question, then it is definitely in the implicit part of our syllabus. So, how UPSC exam in both prelims and mains are changing its nature? They are asking more implicit things rather than explicit things. पहले क्या होता था, स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड बुक्स का चीज़ें पूछ लेते थे, अब बहुत ही इम्प्लिसिट चीज़ें पूछते हैं. थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट है वो क्रैक करना, और प्रीलिम्स में वहाँ बहुत दिक्कत जाती है. बट इफ़ यू आर गोइंग टू be on your toes for at least 16-17 months, preparing in the right direction, then I guess you will sail through. Very important. Why should I trust Sanskriti IAS for my GS preparation for both UPSC and UPPSC? Look, trust is always about content quality. You are going to do certain sessions with me. If you are going to enjoy the content, you will be going to continue with me. Otherwise, there is always going to be new options for you. Look, coaching institute act as the catalyst. They are the enabler, but they are not the final solution provider. I am not the final solution provider. I am not comfortable with my subject thoroughly, wisely. I am not the doyen or intellect of my subject. But as far as the exam is concerned, I am good enough to teach you. I'm good enough to teach you. I'm good enough to make you learn. I'm good enough to make you right answer. I'm going to do a lot of homework with you. So why should I trust Sanskriti IAS? We got a good team of those teachers who have already been selected, working in some institutions like DRDO, in fact, institutions in some reputed institutions, and they are more than willing to teach you. We have people who are having cumulative experience of more than 30 years in this particular field, and they are good enough to teach you these subjects. And as far as the faculty orientation, faculty learning is concerned, faculty learning, faculty orientation is going to be truly onto the right direction. It's all up to you whether you want to move along with them or not. So our academic pedagogy is pure teacher centric. We are not media centric. We are not magazine centric. We are not YouTube centric. We are only going to be teacher centric. Have a lot of discussion with the teachers. Teachers अगर 50 क्लास होती है तो 60 ले लेगा, लेकिन वो ज़्यादा डिस्कशन करेगा academic inputs में, so that you are going to get comfortable. So this is going to be our academic hallmark. What is so unique about Sanskriti IAS academic pedagogy? I have already told you. We are starting with a lot of faculty centric program. Our whole academic pedagogy is going to be faculty centric. Faculty holds the command in their subject, and they will make sure by the time you are going to finish your courses, you are going to be in truly in a very formidable manner to appear in the exam, because faculties are going to act as the enabler. हम ये नहीं करेंगे कि हम बहुत एडवांस क्वालिटी का हमने बोल दिया कि हमारे नोट्स पढ़ लेना उससे हो जाएगा. वी विल मेक श्योर वॉट एवर लर्निंग इज गोइंग टू बी देयर, इट्स गोइंग टू बी इन दिस स्टूडियो क्लासरूम इटसेल्फ. So it's going to be faculty centric, mentor centric approach. That's going to be our academic pedagogy. Will there be special focus on UPPSC syllabus? Yes, 90% of the syllabus is almost same, but certain topic related to UPPSC, like their topics related to essay writing, topics related to UP economy, topics related to UP budget are going to be handled separately. No need to worry about that. How my doubts are going to address throughout this preparation? For doubts going to get addressed, the faculties are going to address your doubts in a live manner. You'll be going to have session live. You can raise your doubts, you can ask your questions, and every different faculty has a truly different approach, and they will make sure doubts are going to get clear more in appropriate manner. As far as I'm concerned, I do one thing. मैं क्लास पढ़ाऊंगा, कंटेंट फिनिश करूंगा, कंटेंट फिनिश करने के बाद मैं आपको एक नंबर दूंगा, उस पर आप अपने डाउट्स रेज कर सकते हो, and I will be going to address it. So that's how your doubts are going to get addressed. Our academic team, of course, CBP Shrivastava Sir, he is having more than 3 decades of experience, tons of experience with him, a very formidable teacher in various varied subject, a true intellect, been writing in Hindu newspaper on a regular basis, and a very phenomenal personality, CBP Shrivastava Sir. You'll be going to learn a lot from him. He'll be going to take care of governance and internal security. My core command area is into the area of polity, society and social justice. That's my area. A.K. Arun Sir, a very renowned, a very lovable teacher among the aspirants, A.K. Arun Sir. He has some unique capacity of making sure difficult and too many difficult intricacies related to Indian economies are going to be learned by the live example of day-to-day example. A very phenomenal teacher, A.K. Arun Sir. You'll be going to really enjoy Indian economy learning with him. Adit Patel Sir, Vikas Singh, Dr. Vikas Singh, he's my friend as well. Dr. Vikas Singh did his MBBS. We usually have a discussion with him on various different medical science topic, a very good friend of mine, and at the same time our colleague as well. So he'll be going to take care of technology section, general science section, and history, art and culture is again going to be taken by the Sagar Gupta Sir. Once you are going to go through the process with other faculty members, you'll be going to realize teaching of arts is purely faculty centric. We'll be going to make sure in this slides, you are going to learn the topic and you are going to jot down the topics and you are going to solve a lot of questions. और question solve होने लगेंगे तो समझ में आने लगेगा कि पढ़ाई हमारी right direction में जा रही है. Ethics and international relations are going to be handled by other subject matter expert due to some professional balance. We are not disclosing their name, but definitely they are going to take their ethics and international relations classes as well. Our classes will be live online. Most of the classes will be live online, but it may be possible, but few subjects, not every subject, for few subject and that to certain limited portion are going to be there in the pre-recorded format where faculty has already recorded it, where a lot of current updation is not required. So faculty has already recorded it and they are going to provide it to you. So that's it from my side. I guess I have to finish my session on a very important cognitive bias graph. It's a very famous one. I've copied it from internet. Dunning-Kruger effect. You need to be quite a good learner and you need to be quite a good learner for life. And there is a very important graph of cognitive bias known as Dunning-Kruger effect. Ask any psychologist, he will teach you, he will tell you what is Dunning-Kruger effect. So what is Dunning-Kruger effect? We are right now here, isn't it? We all start from here, isn't it? We all start from here, where our knowledge is very limited. Forget about wisdom. Knowledge के बाद आता है wisdom. ज्ञान के बाद का ज्ञान wisdom है. So our knowledge is very limited and our wisdom is nowhere. Our confidence is also nowhere. So we are right now starting at this particular point. So x-axis is all about knowledge and wisdom, and y-axis is all about confidence. But what will happen in the first initial 15 days, you will realize बहुत easy तो है, सब कुछ बहुत easy है, सब तो बन रहा है, सारे answers बन रहे हैं, सब कुछ तो बहुत easy है. And suddenly with limited knowledge, your confidence will go up like, you know, I'm going to crack this exam, I'm going to do this thing or that thing. It's like you are in a pitch and suddenly एक दो चौके लग गए. Or you are in a stock market and you pick one stock market and eventually next day itself it goes 20% upper circuit and you realize I'm going to be the next Jhunjhunwala. But then you are going to be struck by the reality. Once you are comfortable with ancient India, then comes medieval, then comes modern, then comes world, then comes art and culture, and things will become complicated. And then you will realize, what a fool am I to believe that I'm going to be at the peak of Mount Stupid and I'm going to crack this exam like anything. Then the reality will struck in. और जब reality आएगी तो आप बिल्कुल depression में चले जाओगे. And it happens with everyone. It happens with everyone. If you are good, if you are ever been into stock market, initial days, you're always going to have a beginner luck. But after a certain period of time, you realize it's not very easy to make money out here. In fact, फिर पैसे निकलने लगेंगे अकाउंट से, खर्च होने लगेंगे, जाने लगेंगे, लोअर सर्किट लगने लगेगा, फिर धीरे धीरे पैसे खत्म होने लगेंगे, तो फिर आपको लगेगा कि यार मैं कुछ भी नहीं जानता मैं. And this is where you are going to struck the door of wisdom. Once you are going to be here, where there is a huge amount of confidence but little knowledge. After that, your confidence will go down, but your wisdom will increase, and then you will move towards the stage of progress. That's happened with everyone. That's happened with everyone. Every individual who's been a professional, who's been a thinking animal, who's been preparing for the exam, preparing for some life competition, preparing for some competitive exam, preparing for some athletics exam, whatever. Any individual who's eyeing glory, they always go through this stage. Initial, थोड़े दिन में लगेगा कि हम सब कुछ कर लेंगे, बाद में depression की स्थिति आएगी. You'll be going to have a situation where you believe I'm not good enough, but this is where you have to hold your nerve. And if you are going to go ahead with the competition, you are going to go ahead with your preparation, then you will achieve the plateau of sustainability, and in that plateau of sustainability, success will come at you. So on that particular note, I'm winding up my session. Tomorrow I'll be going to start with my Indian polity and constitution classes. In Indian polity and constitution classes, tomorrow would be the introductory session where I will teach you a lot about syllabus, a lot of different things. And tomorrow itself, my academic session will start. And those people who have already enrolled with us, tomorrow only I'm going to share my number with you where you'll be going to have the academic discussion. I cannot disclose my number over here right now in YouTube, because this session is going live in YouTube. So for the sake of privacy, I'm not sharing my number. But tomorrow, those who are going to enroll with me, I'm going to share my number with you. We'll be going to have a regular interaction and we'll be going to start with our academic preparation tomorrow onwards. So that's it from my side. Have a great time ahead.